up, honey love? What's up, girl? What's up, love, honey love? I see you. What you doing, Red Sonia? What's up, Sonia? Fat Mama Sonia. What's up, Fat Mama Sonia? What's up, Fat Mama Sonia? What's up, Mayday? Lord Mayday. What's up, boy? What's up, Lord Mayday? What's up, my boy Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? What you say, Doc? It's my big boy, Doc. What you say? All right. Welcome back to another week, another episode, Game Dog Talk, and we back in the building with a very special panel. Of course, we have the legendary schoolboy, Mr. Richard Garcia. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Good.
And
welcome everybody to the chat.
Yes, sir. And we have the legendary Lil Rock. How you doing, brother? Grand Devastation Kennels. How you doing?
Oh, super fantastic. God is good.
Yes, sir. And Brother Ram will be here shortly, y'all. So y'all just, bear with us here. We finna start it up, get cooking. Let me roll up here and see who we got in the building thus far. Let's see what we got in the house. Nicholas Bronson, salute to your family. City Boy Kennel, salute. Mr. Thomas Moreland, salute to you, sir. Run them down, Dread. Todd Green. Game Dog Caribbean. Lefty American Pitbull Terrier. Miami Snoopy 305. King Cobra Kennel. Outlaw Texas Kennels. Tony Gardner. Arrowhead Kennels. Soul Power, a.k.a. Gamed Up Kennel. Salute. AJ. Mike Lee. Salute to you.
Mike.
Fat Farm Ray. Dogman D. Toby Daniels. Dago. Green Bucks. Martinez Game Dogs. Royal Family Pets. Salute to you. Vernon Stones. Mr. Anderson. David Green. El Dios de los Perros. Salute.
El Dios. Saludos, amigo.
Vinny. Let's see here. John Kramer. Let's see. Hamza the Lionhead. How you doing, family? Hugo. Smooth Monty. Salute to you, fam. All right. Live Life Real in the building. Loyalty Kennels. Von C. Trey Brown. What's that? Callister. Salute. Tom Boland. Luciano. All right, can't read everybody, but much love and much appreciation to everybody that's in the building. Salute to y'all. And we got the brother Eli Zachary in the building. What's up, Eli?
What's going on?
What's happening, Eli?
Oh, not too much, man. Got a house full of kids running around. I had to get everybody situated.
I hear that, brother. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're going to start it cooking, man, and smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the likes all the way up. What's up, Brown Sugar? Tay Brown, I see you in here.
Hey, Tay, how you doing?
All right. So, question number 1 from last week, and y'all remember, if you want to guarantee that your question get read, or you really want your question answered by the people on the panel, you can always send it in the super chat and then make sure it get read. You know what I mean? Historically speaking, how important was wrestling ability, and could it be improved? All right. Now we're talking about historically speaking, wrestling ability. How important was that to you guys, and could that be improved? I'll start with you, Lil Rock.
In my opinion, something like that. It's just like if you have a wrestler in high school, that body contact, being strong, being strong altogether, but that body contact and that muscle memory from being rolled or being trained and being around that kind of physical ability with that animal, with that animal actually being against another animal. That's why, I didn't believe in looking at a dog 2 or 3 times. I looked at them over and over and over and over again. And I think that's what, being in there is what really improves their ability and make some, you know, a smarter dog, you know, in the ring.
Indeed, indeed. Mr. Garcia, your take?
Yeah, yeah. I agree with Little Rock. Improving it would be allowing them to do it over and over again. The wrestling abilities when they're close together, and it's close contact. It's how they move. It's how, a lot of times they're on their back feet doing it, you know, but not always. They can be on all fours doing it too. And it's just that the ability of the dog. It's good defensively too, because it if they have a good hold and the other one don't, it's hard for the other one to get a hold on them back. Unless they might be trading cheeks or ears or something like that. But the Boyles dogs had, the early ones that I had, they were good wrestlers like that. The Bolio dogs are known for that. You know, they stay on their feet, and it's that contact and that movement, side to side, back and forth, turning in circles. That's what we would call that wrestling ability. It's actually, you know, they'll use their front feet to hold on and grab and maneuver, you know. And I think one of the best examples I seen was she was an old female. She was 7 years old, man, and she had her teeth were broken, her tits were sagging, she had gray hair on her muzzle. She had Boyle's blood in her too. I could tell just looking at her she was a Boyle's dog. And that one went 3 hours and 20 minutes to a draw. She was a good wrestler, man. She was against a hard biter, and the dog bit her hard, but not like it normally would if she just had free spots. If that Boyle's bitch didn't have that good wrestling ability, it helped counter that hard mouth. Well, yeah, it's something that you know, in the past I thought highly of. Tried to utilize dogs that had that ability, and it can be improved. You know, the more you look at them, the better they'll get at it if they got it in them to do that.
Right. Yes, sir. Brother Eli, what's your take on wrestling ability?
Most definitely a necessity. Most definitely something that you need. And like the brother said, in school it can be improved just same way. You know, IQ and improving the IQ of them. It can be improved also in your conditioning, using the right tools, whether it's flirt pole, having them, you know, adjust to exploding and cutting and different movements. Being able to when you bring the flirt pole out and reel it back in, when they turn back around and make them quick turns, and when you got them on a straight line and then you get them going lateral, when you got them on a spring pole and you got them up on their feet and they balancing themselves, and you can get you a little switch or something and tap them legs and have them tuck them, put them in their back pocket. You know, it's different little things that you can do to improve between conditioning, schooling, and in the breeding program. Some lines are known for being wrestlers, whether it's the speed that they wrestle at, or whether it's the ability as far as the strong body strong. Like you have lines like Midnight Cowboy lines and Tab lines that were known to be body strong dogs that had good wrestling ability because they could just control, you know. And you have dogs with different abilities in that range of wrestling, where some of them are a lot faster and quicker and slicker, and some of them they real strong, you know, and they control it. So yeah, most definitely it can be improved in different areas, different phases.
Yes, sir. Salute to Brown Sugar Tay Brown in that super chat, showing love. Appreciate your sister. She says salute 78 General and the fellas. I'm learning. Yes, indeed. That's what this is about, Tay Tay.
Salute, Tay.
Yes, indeed. Let's go to next question is has the panel ever used weighted vests or collars? If so, what were the results? We'll start with you, Lil Rock.
No, I hadn't. Matter of fact, we didn't do a lot of weight training. When we did, I tell you what, we took our Wolfman dog out. And I can't say who we went into because he's not. Well, I just can't say who we went into. But we took him out and he lost. He was the one that's in one of those ads I had on the sport. We had him as stud, and he actually lost to a really he was a really slick slick animal, slipping and sliding like probably like you would say like Greaser was. But we put him on a weight program where he was pulling where he was pulling weights, and we tried to get it, and he totally got away from his slick style, and we lost him in 2 hours. That weight training really just for that kind of dog, it changed his style, and it just didn't really work that much because for a slick style dog that we had. If I had I may have used I may have wanted to use a weight harness or a weight collar with the Eli dogs we had, but we never did.
Right. Mr. Garcia, your take?
No, I didn't. I never used them. I think they became more popular, in more recent years. And I know people that use them, but I never did. I could see it having some advantages, but like anything else, you got to practice with it. You got to learn to use it properly. Like Little Rock said, I think what it can do is it can bulk them too much and interfere with their movement. And if you have a dog, if you have a dog that's slick and moves around a lot, it could hamper that, maybe with a more powerful style of dog or type of dog, it might be a benefit to them. But I can't knock it because, one, I never used them, and two, I know a lot of people that do, and they have good success with it.
Yes, sir. Brother Eli, weighted vests and collars.
Yes, I use weighted vests, collars. I use the sled. I use the logger chain that I used to drag, but I drag distance. So like a lighter weight, not heavy, not heavy, crazy heavy weights. A lighter weight that they can drag, and that they can, you can see them burn out at a certain distance. Like, say if you want to drag 40 yards, if you're gonna drag 40 yards, at the end of that 40 yards, you want to see them just break where they just like where just same way when if you were lifting weights, where you just get to that point like, oh, it's the end of my rep, until that rep gets easier and easier and easier, and then you get out to 100 yards. But one of the things that I will say, when you're doing weight training, don't do weight training. You do weight training earlier in your keep. That's at least that's for me what worked. I did weight training earlier in my keep because, like the brothers are saying, the dogs will get bulky, they get tight, and they hold more water because the muscles are gonna hold more water, more oxygen, and then not only that, they start to get stiff. And then when you're doing that type of training, you have to work on more explosive training too. You have to do sprints or flirt pole or fetching with the ball back and forth. You have to do explosive work. Otherwise, like these brothers are saying, they will get tight. But you can have a good, slick defensive dog that's explosive and strong as hell and in full control if you phase that right into your keep. If you don't phase it right into your keep, or if you overdo it with a lot of power and not enough distance, yeah, your dog will get tight and it'll change them because they won't have that explosive ability to move more fluently. So yeah, I agree with the brothers, but
Good
I
stuff.
did use it.
Good stuff, Eli.
Say something else about that. When you're doing that kind of heavy work training, a lot of people don't do this, but I mean the rub down at that point is like very important, but also
Yes.
the stretching of the dog, the stretching out of the limbs and the moving the dog around, the stretching of the limbs. It could be during the rub down, depending on how your dog likes his rub down. Some dogs like to actually be laying down when they get the rub down, but stretching the limbs out and massaging them really, really, really good is important when you're doing that heavy,
Yeah.
that heavy work.
And
True.
I like to add one more thing to that too. On the side of not the weight side of the dragon, but on like the weighted vest and the collars, I shy away from using the weighted vest on and the collars actually on the meal, because I don't want the dog straining trying to keep his balance and trying to run at the same time like that with those weights. But as far as going for a nice distance walk, the average clip that we walk at is 2.5 miles per hour to 3 miles per hour. If you get you a nice brisk walk going, go walk for an hour and put the collar on, put your vest on, walk for an hour, get you 2-3 miles in, come on back to the house and chill out and do what you need to do. After you done finish running and everything, you cool down for a second, then throw your collar on and your weighted vest and go for your nice long walk. Come back and do your rub down like Lil Rock was saying. Make sure you do your rub down because they gonna need it.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Another question we got here was, has the panel ever had a dog that overheats all the time? And did you? Yeah, his guy. He said, you ever had a dog that overheats all the time, and would you breed him? I guess he's talking from experience. He has a dog that overheats all the time, and I think he wants to breed him. What's your take, Lil Rock?
Man, I had one, and I'll admit. Now, this was, I think I was very young at the time. I think I was probably between 17 and 19. And I already had my Mayfield blood, whatever. But I bought a dog out of the newspaper because of the bloodline that was down here in Tennessee that you could buy out of the newspaper anytime. We have the Killing Sid, the Wisest Maximine blood. And I went to this place to buy a puppy, and I convinced them to sell me the daddy. They sold me the dad for $100. And I swear, man, I did everything I could do to put wind into this animal. There was nothing I could do. His name was Sid. There was nothing I could do to put wind in him. And actually, from that same bloodline, because actually at that time, I was working for Cottle Veterinary Clinic here in Nashville. And I did everything. I got him checked out. He would just blow up. He would blow up. I could get him, really walk down just perfect. But put any kind of work on him, he'd blow up. I got a couple more from that same bloodline. They would just blow up. So, some bloodlines are really hard to put air in. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think it's the body structure, this, that, and other. And it may be. But a lot of bloodlines are just hard to put air in.
Indeed. Mr. Garcia, your take.
Yeah. First thing I would advise people to do, if their dog has trouble breathing, there's a lot of times they'll have, if you look down their throat, you can see rather than it be oval shape, it'll be like pear shape, and that's a flap of skin that's there, and you can have it surgically removed. It's not that expensive. Other than that, most dogs, pit bull, just by the virtue of their history and what we've done with them and competing and all that stuff, have good air. But like Little Rock said, some of them, it don't matter what you do to them. You can maybe improve a little bit, but if a dog don't have good air, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. And there are certain families of dogs or bloodlines that are prone to that, and yeah, like mine, they were the explosive type, power, speed. I relied on that a lot. But most of them, I could teach them how to pace themselves during my keep, right? And they would learn not to, still explosive, but pace yourself, control your breathing, which controls your heart rate and all that. But some dogs, they're just that way. They will not pace themselves. They do not have good air. There's nothing you can do. And I get this argument all the time. There's people that tell me, I can get a dog to, I can put good air in a dog, They already have to have it for you to improve on it. And right. even a dog with great air, you can improve on it a little bit, A dog with good air, you can improve on it. In the keep, you're going to do that. They should have better air than just off the chain like that. But some, I don't care what you do, and I'm talking from my experience and other people's experience and what I've seen and all the shows I've been to and all that, there ain't a whole hell of a lot you can do about it. I know of a few that they were game and all that. They wouldn't quit, but they blow themselves out, and they you know, they're pushing themselves and, you know, having trouble breathing and all that. They just, you know, unless you've seen a wide variety of dogs, you know, you might not think that it's that way, because like I said, most dogs have good air. They do. That's just the nature of the breed. But there's some that don't, and there's, like Bill Rock said, there's not a whole hell of a lot you can do about it.
Hey,
Would I breed? And then would I breed them? I mean, you know, breed them to a naturally aired female. Breed them, try and you'd have to breed them. And if you have dogs that have that air problem, I wouldn't continue with those dogs. I'd continue the ones that don't have that air problem. If you want to breed that type of dog, you want the other traits. You know, he might have a hard mouth, he might have strength, he might have gameness, all these other traits. If you get those,
if he's got a hard mouth, that mouth is out the window in 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. So you better hope you better hope he gets there. Yeah, you better hope he gets there fast. And that's what some people do. They hope they get there, or they have enough, you know, to you know, because those dogs, you know, a dog will run and they'll have that hot spot, that they'll hit that wall or whatever, all these terms people want to use, right? Most dogs will do that, and then they'll recruit on the fly and yeah, get their second win, and they may do it again, third, fourth, whatever it is. The type of dogs that don't have no win, they don't recoup.
They never get it back.
They don't.
And then the back end falls down like a chicken leg.
Yeah.
You're like, come on. And we're talking about walking. We're talking about walking. Come on, you're embarrassing me. Come on.
Yeah. So it's physics, it's genetics, it's, you know, structure, it's whatever you want to call it. It's not that common, but there are dogs and bloodlines that are prone to that.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. What's your take on it, Eli?
I have to agree with both of the brothers, and I add a little bit. One thing I was so surprised to hear Schoolboy bring that up. Schoolboy, it take an old school dog, man, to understand that little flapper skin that some of them have, and a lot of people ain't never heard about that. But certain bloodlines, they have that issue that comes. I knew, like back in the day, my old Snooty stuff, old Carver stuff, Bama Red stuff had that issue. And I knew, like, the dogs that I got from my original Boots and Bark stuff, Shady Lady stuff, they had that type of issue. But the one that I had, she just so happened to not really express it. When I first got her, I was able to put some work into her and see that wasn't really the issue. It was just I changed her feed and everything, and changed her whole program, gave her some exercise, and started walking her, and it wasn't that issue. But that was the thing that I was worried about, that little flapper skin that you were talking about. But a lot of times, man, y'all get these dogs that are like that. They're just it's the intensity of the dog. And we used to, in order to look forward and say, okay, is it this dog? Is it like that flapper skin issue? Is it something genetic, or is it, you know, that I'm not feeding right, or is it just this dog? They used to say after a little bit of time, the dog will calm down a little bit. And some of them, after they had some time on them, they calm down and they're able to pace themselves a whole lot better. If they ain't had no time on them, they frantic as shit. They want to get everything over with in 5 to 10 minutes, because that's all they ever get, 5 to 10 minutes. They get a little bit of time on them though, 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, they get over a little bit of time on them, and they start to realize they got to save something. So they start to pace themselves. They calm. They don't scream no more. You know, like that could be one thing. You can have a dog that's not well seasoned. They can be 7 years old and they're not well seasoned. They're not well schooled, and they frantic about everything, trying to get it over with real fast to shoot their wad. You know, other thing about it is, if you just leave them on, if they just been left on a chain all their life and they never had no kind of work, no exercise, and they just been fed bottom of the barrel food just because they own a big yard and it's just keeping them alive, keeping them going, that can be an issue too. You change the feed, change get them off the chain, get them walking and exercising, and you might not have that issue. On the side of genetics and breeding, that's exactly what I did. I bred away from that, and like lines like the Bolio lines, like the alligator lines. Alligator lines for me are a good catalyst. Most people don't like alligator stuff because there's not a whole lot of it out there that was real working. But if you look at the bloodlines that do have it as a catalyst or quarter out or so like that, one of the good things that it brings is it brings naturally big dogs that will range you with good wind. You know, and
Yeah.
that's something that I that's
Oh,
something
yeah.
that I liked it for.
Yeah. That's something I brought up before. And they were some of my toughest opponents was the alligator, bully son stuff. You know, the
Hmm.
off of Rufus and all that. And they could,
Lick right there.
yeah, they could do everything. They were smart,
Yeah.
fast, rough, good mouth, good wrestlers, good air, all that. You know, that
Hmm.
cross really worked.
Let me ask a question to the panel since you brought that up.
Hmm.
And those are lines that people outcross with a lot.
Hmm.
As far as wind and air, what do the Sorrels dogs bring to that? Because that was a major, people running a quarter Hammonds, quarter Sorrels, quarter alligator, what alligator Hammonds.
Yeah,
For me,
yeah,
the Soros dogs, it was their
What
durability, the big bones, the durability, the strong body. They were strong. They were strong wrestlers, and they had thick ass teeth. They had thick, big teeth, and they
we didn't get
packed
to
the
see a
punch.
bunch of them down here.
Huh?
We didn't get to see a bunch of the Sorrel stuff. It wasn't down here, down here in the
yeah,
south.
yeah. A lot of them smart too, but they're tough,
Yeah.
durable. You know, they
Hmm.
that type. You know, all around type. You know, they could change up. You know, but the teeth. Now that Eli mentioned that they had good teeth, man. Some of the it's like the Carver dogs. Some of them they got big
Yep.
ass teeth. The Heinzel dogs, some of them had big ass teeth, man.
Yep.
Bully Son dogs, the ones I had, the base of their teeth, their cutters and hangers
Thick.
were as big as my thumb, man.
Yeah. That's
Big.
that
It
Chivo.
looked.
That's that Chivo in there.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
Chivo in there. Yeah.
yeah. Their top lip will bulge out, and it looks like their teeth don't fit in their head. And then you lift up their lips and you see why, man. They got big ass teeth.
Hey
But yeah,
guys,
the
let me
sort.
get this call on my other phone. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
Okay. Smooth Monty. Salute to Smooth Monty in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation, man. He says, do dogs that snore when they sleep tend to have less endurance than dogs that do not snore? Salute to you, Smooth Monty, always showing love. What's your take on that, brother Eli?
For me, I never really noticed. I never really noticed the difference. I had a bitch that used to sleep in the door in the front in front of the door all the time. You know, when I put her in keep and everything, and she would snore her ass off, but she had some of the best wind that I ever seen. It's just she was ultra relaxed. She was just that relaxed at that time, and she was just she would sleep so deep. And I would love it because she would sleep stretched out instead of balled up in a knot. I love to see a dog sleep stretched out, and she just be snoring her ass off. You know, so now I can't really say, not to my knowledge, that has something to do with anything. Now, schoolboy may have a different idea on that, or thoughts.
Your take, Mr. Garcia?
Salute, Smooth Monty. Thanks. I'm with Eli on that. Or I, my first thought was, no, I've never seen any correlation to that. My second thought would be, check it out, see if it does make a difference. The thing with dog, what I have noticed is, if you have big nostrils, that's better because you can suck in more air, rather than thin nostrils. I don't know if there's a correlation to that, but I've never noticed anything between snoring and endurance, good air. But it's good that you brought that up. I would test it. I would see with your own dogs. When you're working them, what's their air like, compared to the ones that snore a lot and the ones that don't snore a lot. That would be something to check. But no, I've never noticed any correlation. Never even paid attention to that.
Right.
But it's a good question.
Lil Rock, what's your take on that? Do dogs that snore when they sleep have less endurance than dogs that don't snore?
I think that goes along with people, athletes, anything else. I just don't think it does. I just don't think it. I never, I've had dogs in the house, and Heck, I think they all snored. You know,
Yeah.
I really do. Dude. I mean, I know every dog I've had has in the house has snored. So I
Yeah.
mean, I just like you got athletes out there, that snore, and I don't think if that was a correlation to anything. I think dealing with athletes and stuff like that, I think it would have. I think we know by now
Yeah.
with
My
people.
my my dog my dog used to, when I bring him inside, they snore and fart, man. That's worse.
Oh yeah, well, but I mean, I think the correlation with that would have come up in sports, sports medicine. You talking about football players, and I think it would have come up with people even before dogs, and we could have learned probably from that before trying to make a judgment on a snoring dog.
Hmm.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I hope it makes sense.
It's a question. Let me go. I want to go to this question because I want Eli to answer this. It's in the chat. Eli, can you answer this question? What's your thoughts on flaxseed in dog food?
Okay, I had put that in the video that I have. My thoughts on flaxseed and dog food is like many things in life. Too much of anything is not a good thing. Flaxseed has its benefits. It has its omega 6s and omega 3s, but it also produces estrogen, phytoestrogens, and like peas, flaxseed, pea powders, pea protein, and soy. When you see foods loaded up with that as the fillers, then it starts to become a problem because you start to see a lot of people have been talking about dogs that are not reproducing anymore or are starting to stop reproducing earlier. And when you start to go to the dog forums and start to read on the dog food forums, and you start to research the science, a lot of the science, it's the same thing that's going on with us as people. We have so many preservatives in our food right now, so many sugars and different shit that back in the day, people made grew their own food, raised their own food, and slaughtered and butchered their own shit, and they were healthier. And that's the same thing that's going on with the dogs right now. So yeah, flaxseed, it has its place, but if you have too much, yeah, it's not so much, man. Not so much. You have too much flaxseed in the food, soy, too much the derivative stuff, then it started to wave on me with those phytoestrogens because I've seen the difference. I fed my dogs and I've seen the difference in their behavior and the difference in their coats, the difference in them period. And my family seen it when I changed over to raw. I could see the difference in the dogs, just them period. So yeah, I would say watch foods that have flaxseed combined with too much of those things. Flaxseed is not a horrible thing, but flaxseed combined with too much of those soys, peas, potatoes, and not like sweet potatoes, but just legumes. Yeah, it'll start to take a toll on your dog, on the reproductive system. And there are studies. Go search phytoestrogens on dogs, and the studies will start to show you what you need to be looking for.
Indeed, indeed.
Mhm.
That's like you said. That's the same thing with humans, man. You know what I mean? Because eating all that shit, all them preservatives, and going away from a pro androgenic diet, like
Yeah,
our grandparents used to eat.
yeah,
Eat very masculine. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
know, and now we eating a lot of this processed stuff, man. And before you know it, you got titties and shit, man.
yeah. Hey, you
You're
know
right.
when
I
we
have no kidding.
you know when
That's the truth.
we was talking about feeding at a cellular level, like feeding at a cellular level is like a biochemistry type feeding. You're feeding the working parts of the body, the working functions of the body. All of that stuff that's wasting, all that stuff that's overdone with phytoestrogen, that's blocking those different systems from functioning, then you don't get the best out of them. That's why I like to feed raw. But if I'm not feeding raw, I watch those dog foods and watch those ingredients in those dog foods because like 7A just said, all those preservatives and all the stuff that they dry out, when they dry stuff out, they take the nutrition out of it. They take the fiber out of it. One
Yep.
one study that I was reading and that I was listening to, if you put an orange in the freezer, and you freeze it, if when you take it back out, it's gonna be mush when you thaw it out because the water opens up the cell wall to be able to be flooded. So in order to keep that from happening with foods, they dehydrate them and they take the fiber out of them and they start putting all these fillers back in. So that's what's going on with a lot of your dog food. That's why you got so much shit on the ground when you're feeding dog food versus when you're feeding raw. And you even got to watch some of the stuff that you put in when it's raw because if it's stuff that's still processed, like steel cut oats and old fashioned oats versus instant oatmeal, it'll be a difference.
Yes, indeed.
Mhm.
Salute to Imperial Flame Kennel, my brother in that super chat, showing love. Appreciate the support, man. He says, Mr. Garcia, you deal with horses also. Are there supplements for wind in racehorses?
Yeah, I did when I was a kid. You know, we had cattle, so you know, they do it today. Whenever you have cattle, you use horses. You know, it's a horse can get, depending on where you live, a horse can get to an area where a vehicle can't. You know, most everything done with vehicles when you feed and all that stuff, but you still need horses to work cattle, to round them up, to make them go in a chute or put them on a truck. You know, and that's a good question because pangamic acid, which is B15, the Russians and the East Germans started to use it, and so to help with your oxygen intake. Right, so they were using it on their athletes. The American horse community, thoroughbreds and pacers and quarter horses and trotters, they borrowed that from the Russians, and they started using B15. And dog guys, this is back in the early '80s. We started using that for dogs. So it's generally called B15, but it's called the proper word is pangamic acid. And anything that improves, and you can do some research. You know, that's the one I'm familiar with. That's what I use. I used it for years. I fed it to them as a daily supplement too, just like I did my vitamin supplement. You know, so they were raised on it. But when you give them supplements like that, you know, I always tell people you got to exercise your dogs regularly. You can't just give them high dollar, high level food and just leave them there and not do nothing with them.
Yeah, burn them up.
Because just like with the high protein, high fat dog food, if you supplement it, this and that, if you don't do nothing with your dog, they're going to start developing hot spots on their body. They'll start losing their hair.
It gets too rich for them.
It's too rich.
Yeah.
But anything you can do to improve their oxygen intake or their red blood cell count, you know, then you know, I would practice with it. You know, I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff, but that's what I use, B15. And yeah, it was developed, like I said, or was first used by the Russians. The horse racing community used it here in the United States, and then dog guy borrowed it from the horse racing community. Man, and just a side note on that too, you know, Tudor and Sadler, back in the day, they were the first ones that started using blood tests for their dogs, you know, CBC count, blood counts and all that stuff. And where they got it from was from their veterinarian, who was also a horse doctor. So he serviced race horses and all that. He told Sadler and Tudor about, you know, blood counts and all that, and they started doing it with their dogs. Those are the first guys that ever started doing that, and now everybody does it. You know, that's just a little story from the past.
And that's see, this is why I love this show. You learn something every day, man. I never knew that, what you guys just said about the food being too rich for them and developing hot spots. Because one of my homeboys right now, he feed his dog the same stuff I feed my dog, and he was like, his dogs always get these hot spots, and he said, man, I don't know, I gotta switch foods. I think they might be allergic to this food, and but now I'm gonna tell them, man, you get them fucking dogs out the house and let them
run them around a little bit, you know, just exercise them. You know, they got to burn that stuff off. If they don't, it's gonna excrete through their skin. It's just their hair is gonna fall out because they ain't active. You know,
right.
It just something kind of common sense sometimes that people don't think about. You know, It's like if you on a good diet, you know, and you're watching your carb and you're doing this and this that, but if you just sit around and watch TV, you ain't gonna lose no weight. You know what I mean? You might sweat some, but it's not gonna, you know, a good diet like that is not gonna help you if you don't do shit. You got to exercise, you know, and like you know, I can't really add to anything you know, Eli said about the flaxseed oil, but I'll tell people this: what matters is the dosage and the amounts. Like he was saying, how much is in there, and what he was alluding to, and 7-8 was alluding to, is there's effeminate effects according to the research from flaxseed oil, from soybean stuff, you know. So I'm not saying it's all bad, just in small amounts. Don't, you know, it's in a lot of dog food. It's in a lot of foods. A lot of people eat soy if you're vegetarian and all that stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you if you eat that much of it. And no matter what kind of food you feed, it's always the amount, the dosage, and whatever, you know, compared to the dog's body weight and per serving milligrams and all that stuff.
I want to ask a question for Eli. Excuse me, I didn't mean to cut you off, Richard.
No, that's good. I'm done. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Eli, the flaxseed that you use, was it the oil or pill, or I mean, and I mean, a lot of times, like, you get a vitamin, but you want to get a quality vitamin. I mean, where does that come from?
I use oil when I use it, but when they use the grains in the dog foods is what they're talking about. That's the thing, because you know them using grain makes everything cheaper. Corn, grain, barley, oats, all that makes everything cheaper, but it doesn't necessarily have the same value.
What do you use?
Me? I use oil. When I feed, but when I noticed the difference, I was feeding dog food, and I noticed that the dog foods were loaded. When you look at the back of the ingredients, they say flaxseed, barley, oats. Then they're gonna say wheat. Then they're gonna say soy. Then they're gonna say peas, pea protein, pea powder, and it's like, damn, wait a minute. All that shit produces phytoestrogens, and phytoestrogens are what makes that feminine type traits. Are what too much estrogen in a woman mess up their reproductive, the endocrine system, and too much estrogen in a man is gonna mess up his system. So the reproduction of these dogs is messed up right now. And testosterone levels are not the same either. So that drive, that work ethic that you get when you see you change over from one food to another, not only are you burning better fats, burning better proteins, burning more quality carbohydrates and polymonofats, but you're actually feeding your dog foods that are geared towards their body producing better at a hormone level, at a cellular level, functioning, because that's the problem a lot of times with all those phytoestrogens. They mess up the body function.
Man, this is great, because now I can ask questions without having to donate any money.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Thank you, Eli.
Salute to Meredith Campbell in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation to my brother. He said just a little something for you and the wife anniversary 78. Salute to the panel. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the love, man.
Salute,
always
Meredith.
Hey,
thank you, brother.
Always the bomb, Meredith. Always
salute, Meredith.
Always.
That's my brother there.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, just a quick thing, y'all. I see y'all in the chat. First thing y'all start saying is the grain-free foods. The grain-free foods are just a marketing strategy. That's what we're talking about. When you look at them grain-free foods, they're going to be the ones that's going to have all that pea powder and all of that stuff in it. So y'all watch it with that shit, man. Them grain-free foods is not the best foods, bro.
Yeah, I was feeding my dog grain-free Blue Wilderness, and I was doing that for a while, and then my wife ended up getting the Blue Wilderness, but it had the grain in it, and she got it on accident. She didn't know not to get she didn't know to get the grain-free. Man, them fucking dogs is just ain't nothing. Same shit, man. I'm like, man, shit. I'm falling for this market employees and shit. It's the same shit. These dogs feeling the same way. So I just mix it up now.
Yeah.
So I just mix it up with them now. But
yeah, it's like you see this, and I'm not knocking nothing, but you'll see people, you know, grain fed, what do you call it? Grass fed cattle. right? All cattle, beef cattle, are grass fed. Now they might add something to it, some kind of silage, whether it's corn or they use corn, cotton, they use milo, they use wheat. You know, it's the crap that's left over. Rice hulls, you know, they feed that too. And the way a cow's digestive system works is they don't feed off of whatever it is you feed them. The bacteria inside their stomach, that's why they have multiple stomachs. The bacteria is what eats the food you feed the cattle, and the cattle feeds off the excrement from the bacteria, right? They're eating shit, basically. That's how they're fed. But all cattle are grass fed. You know, if you out on a range during the springtime, summertime, the cattle eat the grass that's there. In the wintertime, you supplement it with alfalfa. Now, if they're saying alfalfa is not grass, okay, that's one thing. But all cattle grass fed. Don't fall for that. It's bullshit. The stuff they tell you. It's like you'll see labels: non-GMO spices, non-GMO orange juice. There are no GMO spices. There are no GMO. There is no GMO orange juice. It's just a marketing tool. So, you know, I tell everybody, do some research, find out what is, you know, there's negatives that come with some GMO stuff, but a lot of it is not even fed to humans, right? And there's only a few plants and you know, vegetables and fruits and all that stuff is that is GMO, but a lot of it is not. It's not for human consumption. But like I said, a lot of them labels say non-GMO on it. Well, they're not GMO anyways, so it makes no difference. Yeah. And all cattle are grass fed at some point during the year. You know what I mean? And the way like I said, the way they eat is not. It's not like you and me eating a piece of meat or vegetables like that. We actually absorb what's inside that food. Cattle don't do that. They get their food from the bacteria that eats the food that it's fed. So that's just a little tip about cattle. Yes, and sir. And labeling and shit. You know, you gotta be careful.
And salute to Imperial Flame Kennels.
Is that brother, Ram just came through on us?
Yeah. That's Ram. I'm gonna get to him in 1 second. Salute to Imperial Flame Kennels in that super chat, showing love, much love and much appreciation, family. He says, "Thank you for the info and historical insight. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you, my brother Ram.
Salute.
Welcome down, Ram. Big step. You in there, bro?
Yes, sir. What's happening? What up, OG?
How you doing, fam?
Cool, man.
Brother Lil Rock, I think you on mute. You put yourself on mute here. Let me try.
Yeah, salute, OG. Mr. Garcia, OG Lil Rock.
I
can't. Rest of you other two young niggas, fuck y'all.
There you go, Lil Rock.
Let me say this real quick. Ram, I think you're the funniest guy in the world. Dude, I mean, you say stuff, and it's very smart, very intellectual, very I mean, you on top of your game. Don't get me wrong, but you are one of the funniest cats, dude. I mean, you just truly are. You truly are, dude. I mean, like if I would pick out like a guy to kind of hang out with, dude, you'll be that guy, dude. I mean, you're just a funny cat, and I mean, and you give off a pretty good aura. You give off an aura that you can get pissed off also. Don't get me wrong, but you really seem like I watched the show. You really seem like a really funny cat. And I like to be around funny people that make me laugh. So, dude, I'm definitely happy to be on this with you. And I'm thrilled. And it's good to be.
Man, I appreciate that. Thank you, OG. I do be doing comedy. I write jokes for a lot of little amateur comedians in my city. Thinking about doing stand-up. I'm just naturally funny, though. I like to laugh. I'd rather be laughed than pissed off, even though I don't mind being pissed off, but I would rather be, jovial, happy, So I appreciate the accolades, man. It mean a lot. Thank you.
All right, especially in this pissed off sport we in.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, this shit'll piss you off like none other.
Yes, indeed. Salute. I see you here, Ashanti Mendy, Hamza, Lionhead, Let me see here. All y'all that came through here, man. If I missed anybody, my brother bank statement. I think I saw a bank statement in here earlier. Ram, man, let's get you caught up here, man. We can ask you some of these questions, man.
All right, bet.
Have you ever had a dog that overheats all the time?
Yeah, I said in the chat, my ZEBO stuff used to do that because it had like that little cleft palate shit. So, you know, that in they muscle density was too much. And I forget the brother name, but he told me because he was running some ZEBO stuff up in the Midwest, and he was like, you got to break them all the way down, you know, to get that dense muscle off and then work it back up to the lean muscle. That end, like OG Garcia was saying, get that little cleft palate cut off. It's only like 30-40 bucks. They really just gonna charge you for the anesthesia. But yeah, my ZEBO stuff would do that, and they produced that, man. And I hated that because there was some good dogs other than that. You know, real game and all, but you know, 25 minutes they finna fall over, can't breathe. You know.
Right. And what about wrestling ability? How important was wrestling ability back in the day to you, and could it be improved?
Yeah. I used to, you know, especially if I get a dog from a pup, I would wrestle with him. But if I get an older dog, I still wrestle with him, you know, put him in a motherfucking chokehold, Jake the Snake DDT, just try to stimulate all the good wrestling that I could, you know, if I didn't have another dog for him to wrestle with. And yeah, wrestling is up there with fucking mouth and gameness. You need that. You know, if you can't wrestle but you could bite, motherfucker who can wrestle gonna slam you up all night and you ain't gonna be able to get your bite off, really. You know, he gonna be able to out wrestle you out of your hold and all that. So wrestling is real important, man. You know, you ain't gotta be, you know, Jimmy Superfly Snooker with it, but you gotta be good with the shit, man, because you get fucked up. Like, look at it in a street fight. Most motherfuckers in a street fight can't box, but what they do, they grab you and slam your ass up and then put the Beats by Dre on your ass. Same with the animals.
Yep, indeed. Let me ask you this. Go ahead, Mr. Garcia. You had something to say?
No, I was just gonna say Jimmy Superfly Snooker was my favorite.
Yeah, mine too. That's why I said you ain't gotta be him, but you know you gotta be good.
In 84, Snooker should have had that belt because he drew more people to the garden than anybody. In 84,
he sold the garden out.
Man, come on, when he jumped off that cage, come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah,
they should have made him mayor right then.
Yeah, Snooker was my guy, man. And they, you know, Macho Man. I hated Macho Man for what he did to Snooker and shit, man.
Oh yeah, brother. Me and Elizabeth's gonna put the smack down on you, Snooker. I hated that motherfucker too, man.
Yeah. All right. I got another question here. Is does shaving the hair off a dog cool him? Mr. Garcia, what's your take?
Yeah, that's something, man. I noticed back in the day. First, I'll give a story. Some people might think this is funny, but there was a little dog named Reddy. Cash Money Brother CMB, if people know who they were, they handling condition. He was an Irish kid bred dog, Jeep bred dog, and he was going against Wino. Wino was a white bred dog. He was double bred champion alien. And they shaved all the hair off of Reddy, right? And man, Wino just butchered him everywhere he bit him, you know. And I felt in my mind at the time, him not having that hair on his body, maybe that had something to do with it. So fast forward, I got a bitch named Percy. She had beat LA Dream Team, got best in show, beat him in 44 minutes, right? And I'm going into champion Nikki, she's a white bred dog, double alien, same thing. Different females, but bred real similar to Wino. So I get there and they had shaved all the hair off of Nikki. And in my head, I go, man, because, you know, Percy was a good biter too. She had a good mouth. So I'm thinking, man, I'm going to cut this bitch to shreds. Percy didn't bite shit. She didn't cut her one time, man. And I ended up losing. And then on the back end of that, we ended up going into Wino with Mr. Rowdy. And we beat him in 46 minutes. But as far as cooling dog off, man, I don't know, because, and I'll say this why, because a dog's cooling system doesn't work that way. They don't cool to their body. Even if you see, a lot of times you'll see steam coming off them. That's not how they cool themselves down. It's through their feet and mostly through their panty, through their mouth. So I don't know. I used to see it a lot in Mexico, you know. And the hair on the dog, you know, it's not, especially our breed, it's not so much an insulator as it is a protector. Protector from the sun, protect from the elements, like that, you know. It's not really, you know, their hair ain't long like a husky or something like that. But dogs don't cool off that way. So, but I know people swear by it. I don't know, you know, I don't know the science behind it, but I wouldn't, my first reaction is that's not what cools a dog off. I don't know, you know, I don't even know if that's why people do it. I saw it a lot in Mexico. They shave almost or sometimes they'll shave from the neck all the way back, you know, might leave part of they'll leave part of the stifles and all that. Or it was just an advancement of, you know, I don't know if you noticed, like Bully's son, right? Carver shaved his tail. Carver used to shave the dog's tail. And he commented the reason he did it was it gave the dog some class. You know, Danny Burton used to do it. Other OTK does it. Terry Williams used to do it, you know. So I don't know if it was just that, the way it looks, you know, they like the way it looked. You know, you finish the keep out, shave the tail. But after that, I started seeing a lot of dogs being shaved their whole body or most of their body. And if you ask the people, yeah, it helps keep them cool. So, you know, I did some research on it, and that's not really how a dog cools. I mean, somebody else might have an experience with that, so the rest of the panel can answer. But that's pretty much what you know, why that came about. Why are people doing this?
Right. Yeah, that's weird. I always thought it was so people can have easier access to the cleaning up the wounds and everything.
Well, yeah, that may be a benefit of it, but then you just, I mean, then you just you just need the front legs and the back legs. Maybe right. They'll shave their whole body, the back, chest, belly, everything. And I notice sometimes, you know, because they use a razor, right? So sometimes they got all these little fucking nicks on the dog from the clippers, you know, that right. And they like that. So I don't know if that's all good. I really don't know why they did it, but when I did ask a few people, it keeps them cool, cools them down. Right. I don't think it does that. I don't know.
I think it can only cool to a certain degree, but for the most part that I've known of it, it was people that's trying to cut down to their lowest weight. So if they can get 8 ounces off, if they can get 8 ounces off, if they can get that off, because the coat don't weigh that much, but if they can get 8 ounces off, they're half a pound bigger than what they would be. So that's what a lot of people were doing it for. If they got dogs that have thick coats and they can get that much more off of, that's the advantage that they were doing. And the little bit of cooling that it may necessitating that, facilitating that in that purpose, you know, whatever. But I don't cooling. I'm like you, schoolboy on that. But it's more. It was more about making weight, getting weight off.
Yeah. Well, like you said too, I don't. You know, I've shaved dogs for different reasons, not for that reason. But the hair don't really weigh that much. Like you said, maybe you shave their whole body, you getting 8 ounces off. That's a half a pound. So I could see that. I know one guy, Pancho Villa, he docked all his dogs.
Half a pound of hair. You know how big a dog don't have a
that's
half
a lot.
That's
what I'm saying. That's a lot.
That's a husky. That's a husky.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No.
You get like 4 ounces. If you get half a pound off, you feel like that's crazy.
You'd have to cut the ears off too, because what I was saying is that Pancho Villa, he had St. Benedict dogs, and all his dogs' tails were docked. He docked them all, and I asked him, "Why you do that?" He said, "The tail weighs a quarter pound." He said, "A quarter pound's a quarter pound."
That's the reason I can see for docking a dog's tail.
Yeah.
It really don't hurt nothing.
A lot
of the rumors say it don't hurt nothing.
No, I don't do nothing too. But that was his, you know, that was his reason. It made sense to me. A quarter pound's a quarter pound, you know.
But check this out. We went into we bought a dog from Norman Cameron, and I'm not gonna speak on his reputation. Everybody knows what it is, but we bought a dog from Norman Cameron, and about 3 weeks later, and he was telling me about this female. He was telling us about this female that he had that was open. And about 3 weeks later, I called him, and he acted like he was insulted because I wanted to go into him. And I had a dog from and he don't mind me mentioning his name because I told him I probably would. I got a dog from Darren Tupper named Sixpack. She was off of that Scrappy Doo stuff, and we're bred to our pure boomerang stuff. And she had won her first time out. She had beat a champion. So we had bought a dog from Kimmer, and he kind of treated us snidely, but he sold us a dog. I don't know why, but he did. He invited us down there, and Mitch and them will come back from hunting. And like a few weeks later, after we bought the dog, we called him out on the dog that he had for a match. He was like, "Are you crazy? Are you kidding me?" Like we were beneath him. And at that match that we went into him at, this dog was shaving. The dog was shaved, and Kimmer said, "That's stupid." Well, there was some brothers that had shaved the dog, but he said that's stupid. And I agree, dude. That was just dumb. And by the way, in that match that we went into Kimmer, we came in, we talked crap to him because we knew what kind of man he was, and he wasn't going to back down. You can ask Darren Tupper, or you can look it up. You can look it up. We were the last ones to beat him on Facebook. We pissed him off. We were black, and we had pissed him off. He thought we were beneath him, and we made him pick up, and that was the last match Norman Kimmer ever had. And it's our evil dog. He died of cancer. God bless his soul. I'm not saying in the evil way, but God bless his soul. We retired him for good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
That's what the Divines did with Carver, actually, with what was it? Little Ace against Hudson's Tex. Right? That was the last dog.
Oh,
Carver conditioned and handled. Tex was off of Bully Son, Arch Missy.
Brother
to Buster and Jeremiah. Yeah. Those dogs. And he was a 2-time winner. They went 3 hours, and David Divine actually handled Little Ace, but that was Carver's retirement show. That's the last dog he matched. And David always tell me, "Yeah, we retired Carver," you know.
But he was Norman Kimmer wasn't gonna let it, because I mean, once they made the match, we knew we were too big. I was like, well, it's too late to get out, so let me just call him and just talk some crap. And I talked crap to him, and I just found out he was a racist and a Klansman. So dude, when he'd hang up, I call him right back, dude. We gonna get you. We gonna get you. We gonna get you. So I put that mind game on him. I put that mind.
Yeah.
He would hang up, man. Stop calling me. We'll see you at the show. I wait about 2-3 hours. I call him right back. Kimmer, it's Lil Rock. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's just talk about this. What we're gonna do that. We already know what we're gonna do that. Quit calling my phone. So I already got in the set. So then when he came up, the Boy McCormick's place, I don't know. That's what Crenshaw and all the big shows that were at down here. When he got down there, I was like, "Man, you ready? You ready?" He said, "Man, don't talk to me." And he had Mitch with him. And they had and he had like a NASA looking jacket on or whatever. And then we came in 2 pounds overweight. I said, "Boy, you better be glad." And I called him a boy on purpose. I said, "Boy, you better be glad." He said,
"Well,
ain't no problem. We're still gonna whoop you." And we got him out of there.
See, that's
the match.
That's the thing that the dogs don't know about racism. None of that stuff. They just do what they do. They don't care who's in there, you know.
I think I did it wrong, but I mean, he was a jerk to us, you know, and I just played on it, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, the days before Colorado was beautiful. You can just keep calling the motherfucker back. He ain't even know because you got to answer it. It's be important.
Yeah, you don't know who it is. Hello.
Yeah,
hello.
He had to die with that one. And Mitch was pissed.
Yeah.
Mitch still claims that wasn't my dad's last match. Yes, it was. Yes, it was, because Jack Kelly told me. Jack Kelly was the one that told me that was his last match.
Let's see here. Salute to Barbara Shad in the super chat. Appreciate the support, homie. He says, salute to the panel, but how would you break down dense muscle and add lean muscle? Let me go to you, Eli.
For one, I would do long distance, like walking and running. I would do long distance training because that's not explosive work. That's not for the that's more for the long fibers in your muscles, and you're gonna break it down, clean out apple cider vinegar, and break that weight down slowly, and then you'll see the density of those muscles start to break down. And if you're doing more like long distance training at a nice pace instead of the more explosive, that's the way that that you'll break it down. But if you start doing weight pulling, if you're doing weight training, if you're using a carpet mill or you using a hard turning uh slat mill or something like that, you're not really doing it, you know. So if you a light turning slat mill over distance, some long walks, apple cider vinegar, cleaning it out as a natural fat blocker and everything, and shit, hell, breaking them down to lean muscle.
And I add on to that because
Hmm.
you ain't said nothing wrong, but switch them over to senior dog food. It don't
Hmm.
got a lot of protein. It don't got a lot of too much in it because it's for old motherfuckers, you know. So
Oh,
just switch him over to that when you breaking them down. That way he don't lose and be looking like one of them ASPCA goddamn dogs.
We used to use tuna for that too.
Well, yeah, you
Tuna
get
is a
the
good lean
tuna.
meat.
You see how much
that's
tuna
right.
costs
Yeah,
now?
the white
I might as well go fishing and catch my own goddamn fish.
Shit, man, I got so many goddamn cans of tuna. Back when that goddamn Corona stuff first happened, man,
Mhm.
I loaded up on ammo and canned goods. I got enough tuna.
Perishable.
Man, I got enough tuna to last me 3 years, man. Tuna and salmon, all
Yeah,
kind of stuff,
yeah,
man.
What's
yeah.
that? We gonna be good. We ain't buy no toilet tissue.
Yeah, yeah,
Right, right. I said, shit, you
you
know, toilet
couldn't
paper.
you
yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
buy none.
yeah, yeah.
That's
You know,
all them
all
socks
that,
is
all
for.
that.
Goddamn it, the toilet paper run out. Use them holy socks, motherfucker.
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
right.
oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah. All that, none of that affected us because my wife she's a hoarder anyway, man. We always got food, extra toilet paper, paper towel, you name it, we got it. It was just another regular year for us, man. You
Right,
know,
right,
people buying everything off the shelf. We didn't need shit. We had it all
right,
already. Got a
right.
garage full of that stuff. We had so much we were handing out to the neighbors and stuff,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Food,
exactly.
toilet paper, all that stuff, man.
Was
I
that
got
a
some.
Catholic thing?
I got some now in case everybody needs some. Just let me know. I'll mail you some.
Was that a Catholic thing, Richard?
What's that?
Was that a Catholic thing?
It's a Mexican thing. I'll say that. Yeah,
I
it
mean, I'm
probably could.
Catholic and you're
It, but
Mexican, but
yeah, it could be Catholic too. It could be Catholic too, man. Cause we,
Yeah, my wife
you
do
hoard
that.
the heck out
yeah,
of
Yeah,
stuff.
man, I was
yeah,
gonna say
yeah,
I don't think that's a. I think that's you on top of your shit thing. Cause hell, my
yeah,
wife, her
yeah,
mom. That's
yeah,
what we were doing. We were going from
Man,
house to house. You need this. You
yeah,
need that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
the only
And
thing
you
we
know
had
what?
to
We complain about it, right? But when you need something, we got it. We got it. You need that? Oh, we
Exactly.
got it. Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Why you got all this shit all over the house, garage full? Oh, I need
Yep.
this. I need that. We got it. No problem.
yeah,
Right,
don't say that, but don't say that when you need it.
Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Yep, yep. That's how people do you, man. They talk shit and everybody hate the gangster of the family until they got a problem.
Yeah,
Goddamn
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Hey
Mm-hmm.
Blackjack, you absolutely right, and I see you talking about the galloping and talking about fast paced trot, and we call it that little coyote trot, and long distance coyote trot like that. Yep.
yeah, yeah. You know, you can almost not ruin a dog by hand walking them. You know, you
Yep.
can't, even if you run with your dog, you can't run no 20 miles like a dog can. So
Nah.
in that respect, the endurance work, you know, like Eli was saying, you know, uh, not power work, you know, that's a way to get that lean muscle over time, over distance, you know, uh, you know, the pace is not that fast, you know, like you said, the carpet mill, if you're using mills, you know, and you use a, a slat mill, you know, for sprinting and like that, you know, the carpet mill is generally used to build strength. And like anything else, too much of anything, whether it's cat mill, treadmill, e-mill, flirt pole, tug of war, whatever, too much of anything ain't good. You gotta, and I always advise people do less. Doing less is better than doing more. Doing more will fuck it up, and doing less really don't hurt them. You know, the
Richard
dogs have a
Garcia,
lot of natural ability.
let me say
Go
something on
ahead.
what you're saying, Richard Garcia. Uh, with a lot of our Homer dogs and a lot of our the Eli bred dogs that we had, dude, we walked them into shape to make sure we didn't take any mouth out, we walked those dogs. So I'm talking about them 10 and them 12s. Starting out at 1. By the end of the week, you had 3. In the next week, you had 5, and it's 10 all the way out. 10 all the way out. We didn't lose any mouth, anything. Dried them out, and dude, those dogs could bite, and they didn't lose any of it.
Yeah,
because they already had that athletic ability.
Yeah.
You know, we would do some things that were fun with them. I mean, like stuff that they wanted that was heavy, that was just fun.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to work
Well,
out.
you have to add exercise that'll get their heart rate up, whether it's running, whether it's spring, foot pole or something like that.
Things and stuff like that. But we
yeah,
made sure.
Yeah.
My biggest thing when we have the dogs with mouth, we didn't want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
We didn't want to overwork them before a show.
Yeah, where they lose it. Yeah.
Because there are certain bloodlines that have tremendous mouth. Like there are 2 bloodlines I know of right now, and I can't find it anywhere else. Nothing that I've ever seen in my life that can bite like this. One is the blood that Robert Hoppin has. Unbelievable. I remember when he went into Crenshaw, he was going into Crenshaw, and Crenshaw's wife was sitting in his corner. And Robert Hoffman said to his second, he said, "Man, we're going to kill this dog in about 30 minutes. Well, Crenshaw's smart wife said, "We don't lose in 30 minutes. We don't lose in 30 minutes. Well, they had him dead in pretty much done in about 18. But it took about 28 for them to pick his little sloppy butt up and take him away. Robert Hoffman only kills your dogs. That's it. Road warrior. And when he goes into a match, them chest biting Pedro, Patty Booger dogs, they kill you. Kill your hog. Another blood is the I'm saying this for a reason. Another blood is the this Hurt bloodline that's crossed with the only other blood I've seen that can bite like this is the Arch Brother Hurt that's crossed with Tab. And my buddy who's got it, well, he just passed away 2 years ago. I can say his name. His name is Jerry Harvell from G-String. These dogs bit so hard that the guy from Heavy Equipment Combine said, "Hey man, we got game dogs. You got killers. These dogs bite that hard." But I also wanted to say was when you got dogs that can really destroy and bite like that, you got to put something with them, because when you get to that upper level, you can't just bite your way through it, because they're going to be artists out there that can pick that face off or pick the side of the head off, and you might not get to biting them for 40. And by the time you get the chance to bite something, you ain't got no mouth left.
Hey, Lil Rock, I knew you was gonna open that can of worms when you said her name. I said, "Up, it's coming." Somebody said he was sterile.
Man,
I knew that was coming.
Dude, I posted that on the book. But dude, yeah, I posted. But I know, Mary Say and Dude Kennels and them guys who had dogs off of Hurt. You know, Crenshaw said he was sterile. And he said, but he was breeding dogs off of Rascal. But he said Rascal was sterile. And he had them both around the same time. So, I'm confused on whether some of them Rascal dogs are Hurt dogs.
Hey, I think that too, OG. Crenshaw ain't want nobody to breed to Hurt, so no, he's sterile.
No. And he could just let him go. Yeah. No doubt. He had him, but he had no dogs off of him. Then when he get rid of him, because he roided him up. He
didn't keep old dogs anyway. He sold, most of the famous dogs he had. In fact, almost all of them.
Get rid of Rascal.
He sold them. He sold Rascal when he was older. Sold Honey Bunch. Sold Hurt. So Gator. So you name it. He would sell his dogs. Otis. All of them. His reasoning was he didn't like to keep old dogs, you know. But I don't know, but I know just about every famous dog he had, if not all of them. When they got older, he would sell them.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeromus,
Yeah.
Irish Jerry, they all got those dogs.
Yeah, dude, I know all of
Garner.
them. Dude, I've been to Crenshaw's yard several times. I picked out Federation Kennels. I picked out that yard from Crenshaw.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
In fact, he sold Gator to Paul Rodriguez. They did his career.
He
bought
Gator from Paul Rodriguez.
He bought Gator back, and then he sold him after that. Sold him again after that for a good amount of money, man.
Yeah, you know, me and Paul pretty tight.
Yeah, yeah. Paul will tell you.
We was tight until we went to that Floyd Bujo party and he got me drunk. That was in 2018. That was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
Hey, salute to TJ Fisher.
TJ, what's up, brother? How you doing, TJ?
Salute TJ. Salute
TJ.
Yeah, TJ, he good brother. He came through here 3 times on us. Salute to TJ in that super chat. He says, "If shaving the dog is part of your plan, I already won."
Right. Yeah. He had a lot of good dogs, man.
You got to do a whole lot better than that. There you go, TJ.
Yeah.
Plus, you gotta look at it like is shaved pussy better than hairy pussy when you stick your dick in? No, they feel exactly the same. You know.
Yeah, but it's a little bit different when you're eating it. Excuse me, God.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm just saying, if you know, old school, pushing the beds together, missionary on Saturday.
It depends on
pussy
their hair
gonna feel
too. Exactly the same. It depends on that hair too. Some of them chicks' hair just feel like razor blades sometimes. That shit, you get up in there, you're like, God damn, what the fuck is this?
All right, guys. I'm sorry. Not even my I'm brought that up. It ended up going back to another one of them 78 posts I saw the other day. I'm like, God damn.
All right, here we go. Here,
hey, none of this stuff is new. Let me tell you guys, you think all this stuff is new? It ain't new. People have been doing shaving and not shaving for millennia, man.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Another question we got here is: has the panel ever heard of any other breeds being successful in hunting against the American Pit Bull Terrier? Let's start with you, Brother Ram.
Well, if we going pound for pound, no. But you get motherfucking big old 180 pound, 150 pound Congos on the goddamn American Pit Bull Terrier. What you think gonna happen? You know, the biggest cur will fuck up the baddest little motherfucker. Ain't no way around that. Especially when the size difference is that much. But that's why the bulldog is pound for pound #1. You know, now it's been a couple hiccups here and there where sometimes you just get outclassed by a bull terrier. You feel me? But for the most part, fuck no. Out of 100, we finna win 98 of them bitches.
Yes, sir. What's your take on that, Lil Rock?
You know what? I'll go back to what my boy just said. I remember we were going to a match at Eli Taylor's place, and it was about 3-4 hours before. So we were at this. It was like Eli had like 200 dogs spread out, and we were at like this place and on the property, and he had this big TV, and we were watching these dog matches, and he brought out 2 bull terriers, and they took them into the box, and they scratched all day until we got tired of watching them. When you get, I mean, good is good, and those bull terriers probably would have whooped the biggest big dog back in their day if they were their size with that hair cut off of them. You know, I mean, pound for pound, we can't be beat. Period. If we could, they would be doing them against us. And if they were better than us, guess what? I would use one. Because when they don't ask you what you got when you're going into the box, they ask for a dog.
These are facts. Yes, sir. Your take, Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, pretty much agree with the panel. Back in the day, I seen I think I reffed it, a half bull terrier, half pit bull. He went an hour and 9, made 9 scratches, but he quit. I seen a German Shepherd that fought like a bulldog, took hold, shook like that. He didn't snap like a cur. They didn't match him or nothing. He just fought another dog, but he was bigger than the other dog. And way back in the day, Gaboon Trahan and Boudreaux, you know, which a lot of people did, they fought any kind of dog. It didn't matter, mix, this, that, you know. But, you know, like everybody else, you gravitate to a purebred pit bull. And after they realized, you know, what a real fighting dog was, that's what they started using. So when people see, you know I seen this dog beat a pit bull. Yeah, they usually outweigh him by 50 pounds, 100 pounds. So they have that advantage, you know, whether it's a staff or whether it's a mix or a Kangal or whatever it is. Pound for pound, they ain't going to whoop them. But people don't look at that. They just say, pit bull got whipped. Well, even an American bulldog will fight for 20 minutes. Most of them are going to quit too. But
Right.
they have such a size difference on a pit bull. If they beat them, it's because of the size difference. It's not because they're gamer or better fighters or anything like that.
Right.
So I agree with the rest of the people. Pound for pound, and like Little Rock said, if there was something else that was better or the same, we'd be using them. They'd be an established breed. Somebody would, you know, be using it, but that's not what happens. All dogs will fight. And if you have one that'll stay there and fight, whether it's a German Shepherd or a Bull Terrier, that's just because that's an anomaly. That's an exception. Most of them ain't going to do that. I've seen hound dogs fight, rip each other apart, but most of them won't. They don't. And if they do, it's a little skirmish and they back off. So it's just an instinct that's in all canines. But as far as what the pit bull does, no, ain't nothing like it. Ain't never going to be. That's what the breed has been bred for. Those are its instincts for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. So, no, the fighting dog is a pit bull and everything else is just an accident.
I'll add this to what you just said, Richard. And it's something that's been coming around popular. I think since me and Dan Tupper talked about it, it's really getting popular about being around your dog, making your dog know you, getting to know your dog, this, that, and other. You know, you get some dogs that out there that may be curs. You know, I mean, from other breeds, that if they got a good owner, they'll fight a pit bull to the death. They really will. I mean, if they love the child they're protecting, the dog comes in, they'll do it till they have to do it to the death. But it's not the same as being in the box.
No, you're right. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Brother Eli, what's your take?
I mean, shit, hey, I feel like Brother Bakari and Rasta now, they took all the good answers. Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with what was said. I mean, that was my experience when I was younger in the 80s. Shit, I remember in the 80s, my uncle and them, they would fucking load up and then get in the street, and they would have everybody would throw their dogs on the back of their truck, and you see fucking collies and Labradors and mixed mutts and bulldogs, like real bulldogs and pit bull. But my uncle always talked shit about his pit bull. And then next thing I know, I started seeing everybody had a pit bull. Everybody ain't had their little dogs no more. And as I got older, I used to be terrified of fucking dogs. But as I got older, shit here, it was something about them pit bulls, and that's what got me over my fear of dogs, because everybody in the neighborhood was walking a pit bull, and they just looked so good to me. I had to have one. So it's a reason that the pit bull has the legacy that it has. So I couldn't pick nothing over a pit bull when it comes to that.
Absolutely. Tried and tested, man. I think that yeah, most of the other dogs that are good, Tosa Inus and Kangles and other stuff like that, those dogs are 100 pounds heavier than the biggest pit bulls and shit, you know what I mean? So it's not really fair. Like Ram said, pound for pound, you know, pound for pound ain't nothing fucking with the American Pit Bull Terrier.
Yeah. That's why we have weight division, weight. That's why you put a weight out.
Right.
You make it fair and even,
Exactly. You wouldn't put you could take fucking, Andy Ruiz Jr., right? You wouldn't put him in there with Floyd Mayweather. We know Floyd's way more skilled, but it's not a fair fight. And Ruiz is fucking.
And that makes the whole reason that you see a guy like Tyson Fury in the pound for pound ridiculous.
Right. Absolutely. Well said.
Doesn't even make any sense.
Pound for pound.
Pound for pound. Come on, dude. If you took his ability against a Floyd Mayweather, come on, or against a Boots or whoever.
Yeah, if you bring him down to size, it's not the same. Like, pound for pound was created for Sugar Ray Robinson.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? To show to show
give him credit for his ability.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Smooth Monty in the super chat. Much love and much appreciation. He says, any recommendation on a quiet quality slap meal? Hey, what's the brother name on Instagram? I think his name is it Mr. Bulldog?
USA got some great ones.
Mr. Bulldog been building carpet mills and slab mills for a good minute. He been building some quality stuff. I don't know if he's still building, but if that's who you're talking about, had the braided beard, but yeah, he built some nice quality stuff. Man.
Go on Instagram and look up Mr. Bulldog.
Yeah,
he a cool brother. You know, I messed around on him. I should have got a meal. I contacted him and I didn't get the meal because one of my boys out here told me he was gonna give me one of theirs. You know how that work out. So you know,
you.
Has anybody heard of a slap meal that's quiet? Oh,
the dog trotters are quiet as shit.
Are they?
Yeah, them dog trotters, man.
Like,
they got all the bells and whistles.
Ain't they like $1,500?
Yeah, the motherfuckers gonna cost you. They might cost you more than that. That's just the basic.
They're like 2,000. They're like 2,000.
Yeah, 2025.
Yeah. My slap meal, I got a dog trotter too. Is way quieter than my Chandler meal. You know that Chandler with the big wood slats. That shit sound like a train coming through.
Hey, you know which one's quieter than all of them?
What's that?
My feet.
The concrete. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
My Jordans on that street. Judge. What a 100-foot lead. Throwing that ball, making them run back and forth. Just being real.
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's what they say.
And in case he lose that ball, I got 3 more in my pocket. Yeah, because I ain't got time for you to find it. You got to come on. I throw nothing. He 50 feet behind me. I throw another. He 50 feet ahead of me.
That's 100 feet.
Keep a ball full of pocket. Keep a pocket full of balls.
Let me see here. We got Sir Scratch a Lot in the super chat. Appreciate the love, man. I like that name, Sir Scratch a Lot.
Yeah, that go right there. Salute to the name, homie.
Salute.
He said, what region dominated which era? He said the differences between regions. Salute to the OGs. He said who produced Frisco, West Coast Dynasty. Salute, family. What regions dominated? Wait a minute. Yeah, what region dominated which eras? I guess he's talking about north, south, east, west. Yeah. Schoolboy, what's your take?
Early on when the dogs was first being brought over, the major ports were in the Northeast. The only southern main ports anyway, was New Orleans. So maybe some dogs were brought in through New Orleans, but most of them were brought in through New York, Boston. So we're talking, late 1800s to the early 1900s. That was that era, and that area was the dominant area. Chicago, Massachusetts. You got New York and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and all that, right? In the 40s and 50s, I would say Cajun country, Louisiana, just for the simple fact that Gaboon Trahan is the one who had the biggest major conventions, where everybody from all over the country went, and even people from Mexico went to them. So you could say at that time. After that, the South, mainly Texas, and if you go from Texas all the way to Florida, starting in the late 60s to the 80s, After that, I would say Mexico, something like that. But during the beginning in the 60s, all the way up to, you know, at least when I got out, it was all over the place, you know, including the West Coast. You know, you got California, Oregon, Washington. You got the Southwest. You got Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, all the way from Texas. You know, from Louisiana to Alabama. I mean, it just everywhere, and also in the Northeast. You know, you got North Carolina and South Carolina, Virginia, all them. But going by the question, first was the Northeast, then Cajun country, then Texas after that, and then after that Mexico, you know. But within that time period from the late 60s all the way up to the 90s or whatever, even later, you know, I got out in the 90s, so I can't really speak after that. Everywhere, everybody was doing it. Missouri, you name it, you know.
Right.
But that's kind of a historical, you know, timeline with the breed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's see, Brother Lil Rock, what's your take on the regions? Who was dominating what regions back in your day?
Schoolboy ain't gonna like this at all. You ain't gonna like this at all. Okay, when we got the dog from you, but I mean, when we got the dog from you, because I was telling John, I was like, man, dude, them dogs up in the Northwest, dude, they can't compete with our stuff. Of course, we did the little thing with the rocks, and she turned out good, and she busted my stuff up, and I ain't tell you about it, but it came out in a later interview, whatever. But
yeah, Roxy, you talking about Roxy?
Yeah, but you got to remember, man. You got to remember, dude. We had Ricky Jones here in Tennessee.
Yeah,
we had Ricky Jones. We had Ken Allen. We had the Hoffmans. We had
where was Ricky Jones from? Where was Ricky Jones from?
He was from Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, but I mean, all them the greatest dogs he had were here.
Yeah. I forgot to mention Tennessee. That's why he's mad at me.
yeah, that pissed me off, dude. Come on, dude. I mean, we had more. Eli from the Cottons. Eli was here. Boy, he got stolen from here. I mean, some of the greatest dog men were here in Tennessee. Crenshaw, all those guys, they matched their dogs right here at Boyd McCormick's place. Jack Kelly, he came down here to see all the biggest matches were here in Tennessee. So you left us off, and that pissed me off.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
I just want to be left out. You saw some of the biggest matches down here at some of the biggest venues.
That's true. So boys in Mississippi, you know, even places like I say, you wouldn't think about it, you know, and that was my point, is that it's spread all over, and just about every. I mean, if you want, there's dogmen in Wisconsin and.
Hold on. This is what dog men down here call it. We call it like, because we love football and we love dogs. We call this the SEC. When you come down here and if you come down here in the SEC, we're gonna get the best action we got. We treat it just like football, baby.
Yeah.
Just like
football. Well, I'll say this: California never got much respect, but most of the people that I know from California that went back east. And down south, most of them won. And you talking about Freddie Jones, and you talking about Steve Hendricks, Mexican Dan. You got OTK and Tito and all that. They all traveled all the way. Yep, all of them. You know, so
Ram.
You know, a lot of the popularity come from the magazines. You know, and if you follow them, you'll see who was where. And at some point, like I said, it was everywhere. Almost every state, all 50 states.
But you also got to know Jack Kelly was partial to the SEC.
Yeah, he was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah. And he was from New York. You know, he just
but once he got down here, Crenshaw,
if we were to talk to Crenshaw and Ronnie Hyde and all them guys, they'll tell you Georgia was the best place. You know what I mean? Everybody feels that way, definitely. And you have to feel that way. If you don't feel you got the best dogs or the
shows down there that I couldn't even, when I was waiting for the journal, I couldn't even got there if Jack hadn't told him I could have came. There were really good shows down there. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
But hold on, let me just say this. As far as the best, and let me just say this, as far as the best states, period, as far as a dog, just a best state, I think we'd have to go, just in my opinion, and I'm not being partial because I don't like too many people in either one of them, but I'll have to take Texas and North Carolina. And I couldn't pick between them.
God damn, little Rice, he don't like too many people in that up. Shit. But hey, I hope you like me. I'm from Texas.
But I'm just saying, well, I mean, what they got?
I'm fucking with you, man. I'm fucking with. I had to come back at you like you fucking with schoolboy. I'm fucking with you, man.
But I'm saying, what they brought with history of the game and stuff like that, and the amount of dog men in each area. I mean, North Carolina had in that small state, had just as many as Texas. When you agree, Richard?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they
so
did.
I mean, I would just drop it down to those states and say those states represented better than anybody to me.
Yeah.
And I'm from Tennessee, so
Yeah. No, they and like I said, you ask anybody, they're going to tell you where they were from, and the dogs they had were the best. I'm not going to argue with them. I can't argue with them because, like I said, at some point, everybody had them, and a lot of people were going into a lot of different people. But there are some states where they had a lot more, at least notoriety, than other states, and a lot of that is because the magazines and who was where and
right. But Richard, could you put anybody above North Carolina and Texas?
Well, me, no.
I'm you know how. Would you rank anybody above North Carolina and Texas?
Yeah. I wouldn't because I'm not that way, but someone else might. If you talk to the guys in Florida,
all right, well,
even back in the day, they're gonna say Florida. You see what I'm saying? And
I'm in the SEC, Florida. What do you mean?
Yeah. Well.
They might have been.
Yeah.
I don't know. But when he pumped his game up, he came to Tennessee.
Well, I think.
Hold on now.
But I think Baker Davis would have issue with that if he was still alive. Rest in peace. I think Ronald Boyle. I think Ronald Boyle would take issue with that. They're just a Havana boys. I don't know, man. So, like I said, it's opinion.
Man, you know what? I won't even say. I'll just say Chico. I won't say the other part. But that Havana boy Danny can kiss my. I'm gonna leave him alone. He's part woman.
Next question.
He's the only alive man I'm gonna talk about. He's the only man that's alive because I only mentioned dead dog man. He's the only alive dog man I'll talk about on here because he ain't even a man.
Yeah. Next question, 7-8. Keep it going.
Right. Yeah. Let's go to.
Hey, man, hold on. Wait a minute. West Coast got the best dogs, man. West Coast the most. Southwest the best. I went all over this motherfucker handicap state hat back with shit straight from about this bitch. It ain't nothing but gangsters and gangbangers when you come out here. You did.
All right, well, guess what? Oh, man, stop it, man. How far did you make it in?
I made it all the way to Cuba. That's how far east I made it, to Cuba.
Okay, how far east did you make it? A little bit up north. How far east did you make in America, in the United States?
All the way up to New York City, where all the ladies is fast, all the way down. Walking shit down.
Did you make it in the South, nigga? Did you make it in the South, nigga? Calm down.
Yeah, I know that was some of my easiest shit. Because, I work my shit in the heat out here. This Arizona heat different than that down south heat. This shit, you can walk outside and fall out and die from it. You feel? I work my dogs in that.
You can't breathe
and bring them to the south and get on the south part of the south ass. And if I still had dogs, I would happily oblige you.
I feel you. Much love. We just on here talking crap. I've had a couple of beers in there. I apologize, Cass.
Yeah,
Oh no,
Yeah, I was shooting the shit, man.
Yeah.
got a
Just
nut
shooting the
check.
shit.
Like,
You feel me?
like I said, yeah, like I said, you ask each individual person, they're gonna say they're the best, and I wouldn't argue. You know, the only way to find out back in the day
Yeah,
was
but
to
y'all all
look it
lying. I'm
up.
the only
Yeah.
one telling the truth. It's us.
hey, man, I was dying. Lil Rock said, man, Florida wasn't even in it, man. They wasn't in it.
Florida wasn't even in the
Yeah.
Oh man, you gonna have
Hey,
people gonna be mad tomorrow. They gonna act like I said it or some shit.
hey, look, that shit sound like Eddie Murphy and me in barbershop when they were talking about boxing.
Right.
Somebody always bring up
Yeah.
Rocky Marciano.
Yeah. Rocky Marciano. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Hey, salute to TJ Fisher in that super chat showing love. Appreciate the support, man. He says, show up with a blue dog that is part staff and 30 stacks, and you will see grown men nervous. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was Champion Whiskey.
Ooh-wee.
Champion
Right.
Whiskey. She was a bad. If you see her, you swear she was staff, because she's blue. She's blue.
Yeah.
She's a badass. Four-time winner, four-time finisher. You know, TJ don't say this too much, but if I recall, she won twice in one night. They just wouldn't count the second one because they just brought a dog.
I thought that
And she
was the
won
story
5,
too.
but
Yeah,
TJ said that just because the journal wasn't around, he ain't gonna count it. Like,
yeah,
she really a grand champ, but he just being modest. That's the homie.
Yeah,
Man, salute.
yeah, that's it.
TJ.
That's it.
Yeah, TJ, you welcome to the, you need to let me get an interview with you, TJ, man. Talking that good stuff.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be
don't
good.
answer no conditioning questions though. Them is for me only. God damn it.
Not from Florida.
Salute, Fat Bill. I see you in the building.
And speaking of TJ and what Little Rock said, he's from the Carolinas, so he might agree with Roscoe there.
TJ.
Yeah.
Hold on, I don't even like the guys from Carolina, but I was giving them that credit. No, TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of them famous dogs were from there. If you think, all that Yellow John, JOCKO and Molly B, and there's so many.
Some of that blood is kind of what if I got it back into dogs, I would kind of try to get into. But back in the day, I'm gonna say this to you, Richard.
What's that?
I'm gonna say this to you, Richard. I wonder. There was a lot of things in North Carolina that there's a lot of shady things going on in North Carolina back in the 90s.
I think that's true everywhere.
Everywhere. I think North Carolina.
Let me tell you what Don Mayfield told me personally. We're talking about dogs. They came up about rubs. He said in Texas, the person that won was the one who got to the rub first.
Dude, hold on. When I came up, hold on. Did you see the interview? Hold on. Did you see the interview I did about? And I guess it was labeled cheating in the dirty dog part of the game.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, you saw the one I did with him.
Oh yeah, okay. I don't remember it.
I mean, dude, down here in Nashville, man, these guys, hold on, no lie, these guys would cheat each other. This is no lie. This is no guy. These guys would cheat each other, and then you would see them on the next show, and man, Billy cheated me this way, or Buford cheated me this way, or somebody cheated me this way. They said, man, I don't know how he got away with it, but he got me. And they be all together. I mean, just cheats.
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
I'm talking about an actual group of cheaters that want to know how, that really studied and want to know how to do this better at cheating.
I'm gonna tell you something, Lil Rock. I had an old Indian guy that I used to go buy dog food from. He told me one day we sit down. He gave me some pie and stuff. I don't mean like sweet potato pie, apple pie. I mean the drink. We sitting back and we drinking pie, and we sitting back and I'm looking over his wall. He got all these bears mounted. He got these newspaper clippings of fucking mountain lions and shit that he didn't shot, and he going alligator hunting. And I'm like, damn, that's interesting as shit. And he telling me the story. He's like, man, back in the day, my dad and my uncles, they were Indian, and he said we were horse traders by culture, by nature. He said, and the thing about horse trading is it was all about who can get over the best. He said, you know, we sit over there, we get over on each other, sell each other the worst horse or whatever, and then we come back and we sit by the fire and drink a little pie and laugh about it.
Right.
So
And then he
I
turned
said,
around
damn,
and sold you 55 gallons of cat food.
I fucking can't. While he was telling me the story, while he was telling me the story, and get what he told me. He said, "But I never do you like that."
Yeah,
What Eli is saying though, it was part of like that horse trading type of thing. Dude, cheating down here was just a regular, and nobody got now you could get fouled out for something that was accidental or whatever. You can get fouled out for that, but you couldn't get fouled out for cheating. Cheating down here was a regular, and that's what I grew up around. And I knew more about the game from cheating than I knew from the actual rules. I knew what to look out for, dude. Because you got to remember, I got in the game when I was 13 years old with my first dog from Don Mayfield, and these guys cheated me all the way until I got away from them when I was 18. Then I came back in my younger 20s, and I see them again. They were like, "Hey, how you doing?" But now out again. Remember, I was nigging all that back then, but I'm not a nigga no more, and they want to match me, dude. I tore them apart. Period. Point blank. Whatsoever. I lost a couple. I lost a few, dude. I lost more than a few. But dude, I was vicious with those guys because I didn't realize when my uncle had joined the NAACP, I didn't realize how bad people were calling me. Dude, I was the only black kid in Nashville, one of the Mayfield nigga bloodline. They're like, here's that nigga with that nigga bloodline. Dude, they were dogging me out, and I was killing them. I was whooping them every time. Dude, I was when the black guys finally got dogs down here, and I introduced them to the dogs. Dude, I was a legend.
Right.
And then you had kennels like Federation Kennels. They were buying dogs out of the newspaper. I took them to Crenshaw Yard and I bought their yard. I mean, Federation Kennels, they made, you remember Blackjack? Grand Champion Blackjack, Dog of the Year?
Yeah.
I got Federation Kennels raised, and we made him a champion. I made him a champion from some guys that got dogs out of the newspaper. That's where Federation Kennels came.
Mm-hmm.
I brought them up. From guys that were buying dogs out of the newspaper to Federation Kennel. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me get to this next question here. Is let me see here. Historically speaking, has the panel ever schooled a male into a female or matched into a male into a female? Let me start with you, Ram.
Fuck no. That's dumb as hell. Most of the time, a male, he ain't gonna fight a female because he think it's a chance for sex. And if you can bust a nut, you ain't finna talk yourself out the pussy. And females will do the same thing if she thinks some dick involved. And she got the tendency to fucking might want to be naturally submissive to the male if he get to getting too rough. You feel me? So the only time I ever heard that done was with REDBOY, man. You know? So nah, fuck no, don't do that shit. That's stupid and counterproductive.
Yes, indeed. Let's see, brother Eli. What about you?
I don't never recall doing that. I done seen it done before. I done had a yard accident where the shit happened, and pretty much like Ram was saying, shit. One was trying to go for broke, and the other one was trying to see what they can get out of the deal. And that's just how it went. You know, I mean, even shit when they did that shit with Rosemary, I mean, it didn't go good for her. One of the baddest bitches. So nah, that's not nothing that I would. Nah, hell no. That's not nothing that I'll try.
All right, Lil Rock, your take on that topic. Have you ever rolled a female or into a male or a male into a female?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and it's documented. Hold on, let me hit this real quick.
Yes, indeed.
Documented.
Oh, we
On
on the smoke break. Okay.
no, dude, I just smoked cigars. But I took a dog
Don't
out.
nobody, OG, don't nobody hit the cigar like the roach did, hold it in while they still talking.
No, nigga, no, dude, no, do that. If I did something, I'll tell you, dude. What the hell? I'm
I'm fucking with
hey,
you, man.
what the hell? I got crack on this something if I smoke it. I can smoke meth or whatever. But no, what the hell? Damn, look at the page we on. What the hell we had? I can probably shoot somebody on this mother.
Oh, I'm dead.
But just being real, I took a dog off of Locks Billy, which is with Locks Billy's off a Jeep, and I taken a dog off of that. I just got the female, and I was about 24, and my associate kennel partner. I ain't say we kennel partner because he'd be like, no, we wouldn't kennel, whatever, nigga. Nigga, you ain't doing nothing there, nigga. I took your whole yard anyway. But anyway, he might be on here.
Damn.
Nah, I took that yard, nigga. You claim you gave him to him, but you didn't. But anyway, I brought a female. I got a female from Gary Talley. The dogs came from Keep Lock, and I brought her. I bought her from Gary Talley, and she was straight off of Locks Billy, and she didn't turn out because I rolled her when I got her. Yeah, I was young. I rolled her into a male that was about 5 pounds big, and she quit in 30 minutes. So I was like, dang. But this goes into another story that I presented on this page, and I'd asked about because she died. She quit on me, but she died dead game on somebody else's yard. Now I don't know if you remember 78. I brought up that category. Has a dog ever died, quit on you and died somewhere else dead game? She also produced a 4-time winner, Tally's Reaper, and produced RON. And she quit on my yard, but she died dead game somewhere else because I put her against a male.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Garcia, your experience with that?
Other than like Ram mentioned, one of REDBOY's matches was against a female. There were a couple down here. I think Mike did one, male and female. I wouldn't do it, and I never did roll males and females together. I had enough dogs. I just put the sex. That's what they're going to go into for the most part. But yeah, it's not totally unusual. People have done it. I wouldn't do it. But yeah,
It's totally stupid, and I did it under peer pressure. And
yeah.
I'll admit it. I did it under peer pressure.
Yeah, yeah. But everything happens. It's like Mr. Fiddler said one time. My buddy had a female, and she freaked out in the match. She never did start, this and that. He couldn't understand why, and Mr. Fiddler told him, if you in these dogs long enough, everything will happen to you. So anything that anybody could think of, or anything goes south, or any kind of outcome, any mistake, anything like that, if you do dogs enough, it'll happen to you. And there's some guys that they don't care. They don't do it all the time. They didn't do it all the time. Didn't happen very often. But there are some guys that match males into females. Sometimes a male one, sometimes a female one. But I wouldn't do it. It don't make no sense to me.
Again, Richard, I mean, it was totally out of ignorance, and it was totally,
yeah.
It was totally out of peer pressure.
Yeah, no.
I did it. I did it. And like I said, if you look up Tally's Reaper, or look up Tally Studley, his mother's name was Reaper, I think.
Yeah, I understand. And for those that ain't not familiar with the name Tally, if you look, was he
not that same Tally?
Okay, different one. Okay,
yeah. Well, I mean, it might be the same one you're talking about. I don't know, but she ended up producing. But I mean, what I did was when she quit, I gave her back. He asked me what happened. I lied to him, and I felt so bad. I said, man, she quit. He said, what happened? I said, I wrote it. Well, I didn't lie to him. I just didn't tell him the whole truth, and I felt real bad about that.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Well, like I said, we all make mistakes. We all do things we regret. You just try not to repeat them. But it's gonna happen. Everything's gonna happen to you, and some shit's gonna come up. That's just the nature of the game.
That's been 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fully matured man.
Yeah. Well,
So
you are forgiven, brother.
Yes, sir.
You know what? No, I tried to reach out to him about 6 years ago. But then this friend, I won't tell his name either because I don't have some information. That's on our Legends page. You know what I'm talking about? And he told me about. He said, "Man, she did die dead game." I was like, "Oh God." I was like, "Oh God," because I said she quit. He said, "Man, she died dead game." I was like, "Oh
God." Yes, sir.
That's why I was asked on the post one time, have you ever seen a dog quit and then die dead game somewhere else?
Yeah, that came up last week or the week before, I think.
Right. That was the reason. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Another question is, let me start with you on this one, Brother Little Rock. It says, what are some traits to expect to see from Boyle's blood? I have a pup coming, right? So this guy say he has a Boyle's dog coming. He wants to know what traits he should expect.
Well, with the Boyle's blood, I mean, there's so many lines. There's so many directions that bloodline comes from. I mean, I think Mr. Richard Garcia, I think you've seen a lot of them. And that's kind of hard to answer. I mean, what to expect? What you're gonna expect is what the parents and the grandparents come from. Of course, God dang, I almost said something, but I can't. But I know a lot about the Bulls line. I know a lot about. That's probably the only line that I know. Read the question one more time, please.
What are some traits that he should expect from Boyle's dogs? He got a pup coming.
If you got a good one, that's the only thing I can go with. If you got a good one, and I would also have to see the pedigree to know, where they're coming from. But the best Boyle's dogs for me are the face dogs that get on top of the face, that can work the face, work the head, stay out of trouble, and chew your face off. Those are the best.
Yes, indeed. Okay, Mr. Garcia, what's your take on Boyle's dogs?
Yeah, like Little Rock said, it just depends on how it's bred. There's so many different styles. They could, if it's heavy on the Dirty Mary, some of them turn, but they're real game. You got more Bolio in them. More of the good air and good wrestling and intelligence, stuff like that. Got more Eli, heavy mouth. It just depends. Some of the T Walker stuff is known for real heavy mouth.
Hey, Rich, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
They're a good bed man's dog.
What's that?
You don't know about these dogs, and they're hacking and they're turning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you're a good bed man's dog, that's your dog.
Yeah.
If you're a gambler, that's your dog.
Yeah.
If they're gonna bet against them, and they're gonna shoot across that pit like a rocket.
That's true. It's funny. People don't like it, but some of them will do that. Some of them will do that. You think every time they do some funny shit, they're gonna quit. They don't. They keep coming.
They
keep coming.
They hit like a rocket.
Yeah. The handicap stuff, known for mouth, smart. It just depends. What, like you said, where you getting it from, how it's bred. There's so many, like you said, different ones.
Another thing, Richard, you're dealing with 4 different bloodlines or 5 different bloodlines.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
depends on what you choose to bring out in each one of them.
That's
That
true.
makes sense to you.
Yep. And then out of those 4 or 5 bloodlines, people took it in whatever direction they took it in. So, it's just.
And they could take it in one direction. They could all of a sudden bring it back to like Bobby Jr.
Yeah.
Back with and just confuse the whole thing up.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's a big slop, but good God, that's killing you.
Yeah. You got the Queen of Hearts stuff. It just depends,
Right.
It's
a difficult bloodline to go into. The best thing if you're gonna go into if you got a hog that you're gonna hunt and you're gonna let them loose, the best thing is to already see the vulnerable dog that you're going into.
Yeah.
Because you can't judge the bloodline and say I'm going into that. Because dude, they show up all kind of ways.
All kinds of stuff. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sure do.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Let me go to Brother Man with this one. Can the panel share a time when a hound disappointed you? Let's start with you, Ram.
Every time one of them motherfuckers quit. Shit. Be it in school or if I was in the pit.
That wasn't even a fair question, dude. I don't want to interrupt nobody, but god dang, come on. Who gave that question?
Every time one of them hoes pack it up, I'm hella disappointed.
He said every time.
Every time the motherfuckers pack and pull up that U-Haul, heartbroken. You feel me? It's time to move. They packing it up. And I had some that didn't live up to the expectations I had in my mind, but that wasn't the dog fault. That was my fault for living in La La Land,
Right.
But yeah, every time they quit, it's disappointing. If the breedings you make don't turn out, that sucks. But that's why everybody not a breeder. So the most disappointing shit is losing your fucking money.
Right. What about you, Brother Eli?
Probably if you having a fucking good dog that you know is a good dog and the motherfucker don't work for shit. That was one of the most upsetting things for me. Like having a good one and can't put this motherfucker in shape worth of shit. Got to try to figure out everything in the world to try to get it in some decent shape. Yeah, that was the most upsetting thing to me.
All right, Brother Lil Rock.
I got cut off and just got back in. What was the question?
Yeah, just to share one of your experiences where a bulldog disappointed you.
God dang. 90% of them. Oh no, dude. I mean, dude, I was used to getting disappointed until I got a certain bloodline. But I mean, getting disappointed, man, wasn't a big deal. Probably just being real. It wasn't really with the bulldog. I mean, if they quit, they quit. But I had a dog growling one of my kids. And but I mean, as far as the dog game goes, no, dude, I don't expect nothing out of you. I mean, you got to show me what you got. And I never, I was high on I was high on a dog off a pepper that quit. But dude, mostly the dogs didn't disappoint me on what they did, unless it was like personally, like the only time I really got pissed off with a dog was it showed aggression to my kids. You know, I mean, I think that's the biggest disappointment, and that's more than anything to me. As far as a dog that I thought was going to do good, I thought my Duke dog was going to finish. Well, he didn't lose either, but I thought he was going to finish good, and he was scratching. He was scratching. I was going to Don Reed, a real good dog man that everybody knows down here. And my dog was scratching, but he was walking and scratching. I'm like, oh my God. And I thought that he would probably quit if he had to do it again. And that really hurt. Because I mean, he was my house dog. And I was like, dude, he's gonna quit. So it was questionable in my whole life if he would actually quit or not, because I loved him, but he ain't sleeping in the bed no more. When he quit. But as far as a dog that really let me down, that quit, I would say when Bobby Holland, he had a dog off our Billy dog, and he went into, of course he won't tell me who he went into. She had made champion, and she went into some, I can't even say who we went into. We were so hyped up for the match, and it was gonna be a 15. He wouldn't tell me who we went into or nothing, but it was Bobby Holland. He was mad. He was mad at Heavy Equipment, because Heavy Equipment we had just acquired champion Billy. That was off of the Billy dog we had, and Tom let Billy starve to death. So Bobby Holland wouldn't give him credit for Billy, but Tequila quit, and that was a heartbreaker for me. When Tequila quit, that was a heartbreaker. Billy had 4 registered American points, and I mean, it was just a heartbreaker when she quit, and then we didn't get the points for her. But now the way that pet online go, you get the points anyway. But we don't do pet online, so you can see Billy, but you don't ever see champion Congo, champion Tequila, champion Little Billy, champion Red Billy. You know, you don't never see those dogs anyway.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Garcia, can you share with us an experience?
Yeah, early on, I had some real heavy Bully Son dogs. It was a grandson of Bully Son Jr. and a grandson on the top, and a grandson of on the top. He was a grandson of Bully Son Jr. and that Sharon Get a Hope. Bottom side, he was a grandson.
Ooh, that was nice blood. That Get a Hope blood, that was nice.
Yeah, yeah, they were hard biting dogs. The bottom side was a grandson of Squirrely Shirley, Ken Click Shirley. Squirrely Shirley, she was a 5-time winner. And this dog could bite. He was proportioned right, beautifully built, thick bone, hard muscle, big ass teeth, and he could use them. And I had high hopes for him. He quit in a row. His name was Honey Boy. Just a beautiful animal. He did what he looked like. He looked like a killer, and that's what he was, but he was also a cur. He quit rank. So that was a early disappointment. And later on, you know, like the panel saying, you know, you disappointed when they quit, but you come to expect it, you know, and you understand that they ain't all most of them ain't gonna work out. You just go with the ones that do. But that was kind of a heartbreaker for me. It was early on in my younger days.
Yes, sir.
Hey, let me ask him one question. You remember who said it once that you're not surprised when they quit? Who said that?
Who was it? Was it I think it might have been Floyd who said that.
No.
Maybe it was Tudor or Burton. Tudor, maybe.
I thought it was.
Yeah, could have been.
Don't be surprised when they stop. Be surprised when they stay, or something like that.
Yeah. Don't be surprised when they quit. Be surprised when they don't. Yeah.
But another thing was, you know, that Robert Miss Boob stuff, that Bully Son blood.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any of that?
Did I what?
Did you have any of that?
Well, it's related to Miss Boobs because they're off of Bully Son. Yeah, Bully Son. Robert. Yeah, I had a.
Robert was a brother to Carlos, right?
Yeah. No.
Daddy.
Yeah. He was a brother to
Robert and Miss Boob. Dude, that was some great blood.
Yeah.
Dude, you talking about, they were rough and they produced really game dogs. They really did.
Yeah, they could bite, man. Them dogs could bite. They did it with little effort too. That's the thing when you look at hard biters, sometimes it's not a lot of effort. They just close their mouth and damage is done. Those are the hardest biters I noticed.
But the only thing you had to do with them, if you wanted to compete, I don't care how hard they bit, but if you wanted to compete with them, you had to take them back to, like, I mean, in high competition, back to the bolio stuff.
Mhm.
Something
That's a
that you
good cross
get,
form. Yeah.
or even
Yeah.
some people like do with the Maloney blood, but I ain't see that proven with the Burke blood.
Mhm.
For that,
Yeah.
I just went all the way back to the to the bolio blood.
Yeah. Yeah. They did that
They
with
ain't wrong.
Bully Son de Mendocino, which was Bolio's
Boy, yeah,
sister, and then in Mexico
yeah, they
they
worked
crossed
that.
the handicap was Bolio's brother. They crossed it with the
They
Eli
worked
down there, and
yeah,
and you know the booger blood too, Red Lady.
yeah.
That
Yeah, still.
Zachariah stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Boy, and that boy, that Zachariah stuff worked really good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry for interrupting the program again.
No, that's all right.
I probably ain't gonna be allowed on here no more.
That's okay. We'll have good
No, you
memories of
good.
you.
You good, little Rock? Yeah. I'm gonna ask this the last question before we pack it in. It says, what advice would the panel give to American Pit Bull Terrier owners preparing for yard visits from animal control? I guess this question is basically how to keep a good yard to make sure your shit don't get taken and all that kind of stuff. Let's start with you walking down, Ram.
Man, like I always preach, have your shot records ready, motherfucking in order, and get a fucking kindling license. You know, them two things right there make your visit short and sweet. And that's if you know your shit up to par. Ain't nobody on the chain banged up, dirty ass water shit all over the place. You know, that's basic shit that I shouldn't have to cover. You should already be doing that. So we gonna go under the guise of your shit is already up to par and in order. Just keep the shot records on deck, man, and your kindling license in the same area, bro. For real. Like I had them when I had dogs, they'd come, be there for all of 2 minutes because I have all that shit right there. Boom, vitamin in the garage where I got all my fucking show dog trophies and shit at. They all okay, you show dog. Yeah, I do weight pull, all of that. Here go my shot record, here go my kindling license. Let's go see the dogs. They gonna check your water bowl. They want to see what kind of food you feed them, and they gonna be out your motherfucking hair. Simple as that, bro.
Yes, indeed. Brother Eli.
I couldn't agree more with what Ram said. I mean that have your kennel license, have your shot records up to date. Make sure your chain spots are kennel setups are clean, fresh water. Make sure your dogs are in good condition, in good shape. I mean, and be active with your dogs. Like the brother said, he had weight pull, confirmation, all that. I was the same way. Had all the same shit and never really had a problem. If they showed up, they knew me from walking around the neighborhood anyway. If they seen me, it wasn't like they wouldn't was not used to seeing me. And shit had they would pull over. Hey, what you got going on? Getting ready to go to a show. I had the information for the show that I was going to pulled up. Here, the show gonna be here this month, and it was all good. You know, so same thing, man. Take care of your
Indeed.
dog. Hmm.
Yes, sir. Mr. Garcia, your take?
Yep. Can't add nothing to it. Just like that. I mean, uh, pe- no, I can't add nothing to it. Everything they said was, I did in the past encourage people to take them to shows, do that, just so you have something to show them,
Mm.
in case somebody comes up. I wouldn't be letting anybody on my yard unless they had a right to be there. I wouldn't argue with them. Just make sure they got the right paperwork, but have your stuff squared away, just like the panel said.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother Little Rock, anything to add to that to prepare for yard visits?
Put up a sign the dog might bite, and if you come in that backyard inspecting something, then you probably gonna get what you asked for. Cause when I did have dogs, I had them put in their spot, but I had a shepherd running around. And if you came in that yard, you probably was gonna get more than you asked for, and you ain't got no you ain't got no business putting my dog to sleep or shooting. Cause you was warned before you came in there and expect a full lawsuit.
Yes, sir.
I mean, dude, one thing I am, dude, I'm a Christian guy. I don't pray that crap as far as attacking a dog or picking a dog out. I don't play that. You can't pick me out of nobody. I'm a model citizen in the neighborhood that I live in. I pay my taxes. You ain't got no business in my yard. I got a sign right there. And I also had a shepherd running around back there. And if you get bit, that's on you. And you ain't got to worry about making it to my bulldog. You got to worry about getting your ass snatched out by this Belgian shepherd.
Right. Yes, sir.
Because I paid for the best to watch mine. At least back then I did.
Right.
So the best advice I can give to you guys, get you a good Belgian shepherd, get you some good pens, and keep that shepherd inside. Keep your dogs outside and keep them taken care of. When you're working a dog, guess what? That Belgian shepherd got to go outside now. Or got to go upstairs and sleep with the kids.
Indeed. Well said. Robert Tucker in the super chat, much love and much appreciation, fam. He says, how many dogs should you start off with, since most would quit? Also, if you were a great dogman already, historically speaking, peace to the chat and panel. Thank you, family. I don't understand the last part of it, but how many dogs should you start off with, since most of them quit? I guess if you have experience, I guess that's what he's saying.
Can I take this one first?
Yeah, go ahead, Lil Rock.
Dude, I think this is what I did. I had people when I had my pepper dog. I had friends around. Don't ever keep any more dogs than you can handle. So when I brought her first time, I gave the pups to the guys I was around, trying to bring them up in the game because I was the only black guy here, and I want to be other black guys in the game. So, and we got to see those dogs. So, man, depending on how much money you got, whatever you got, if you can feed one, you can feed one. When you say how many dogs can you have, that totally depends on your economic ability to feed them. If you can feed one, then you need to get the rest of the way. Get the rest of them away. If you can feed two, then you can feed two. But don't stretch anything out to keep a dog. Make sure you're fine. Make sure your bills are paid and all of that. I don't think there's any dog man in this game that will ever tell you to try to make money. You can't make money off this dog to come back and feed your family or anything like that. So the first thing is, make sure if you got a dog, you love the dog, do the dog right, test the dog out, do this, that, and other. You want to breed the dog. But at the end of the day, make sure you can feed the dog right, take care of the dog. Whatever you can take care of that's what you need.
Yes, sir. Mr. Garcia, your take?
Yeah, pretty much what Little Rock said. Don't handle any more than you can, that you can't afford to take care of them. But what are you having them for? If you just want one dog to have as a companion or go to the shows, weight pool or something like that. If you're breeding, you need at least two, a male and a female. I started my family basically with 3 dogs, and then you build from there. But what he said is correct. Don't have more than you can afford to feed. You have other responsibilities, and just have fun with them. Get what you think you can handle, and whatever the reason is for handling. If you're going to become a breeder, like I said, you need a male and a female. You're going to go on from there, and then you'll have more. But I think in today's time, people, especially in the United States, you can't have no 50, 60, 100 dogs. It's not safe and it's not practical.
Right.
But, that's about it. What Little Rock said.
Indeed. Brother Eli.
I agree with the brother. Feed what you can handle, and if you're in the process of learning and trying to get an understanding of the dogs in the game, you don't need very many anyway. I mean, three dogs to 5 dogs. I think I had 5 tops when I got when I was first starting out, and then I got up to that 10, 15 range. And when I got over 10, like all of them wasn't with me. You know, I had one over a buddy house here, one over somebody's house here and there. And that's when it started. I started to know, you know what, I'm doing more than what I can handle. Because when I go pick the dog up, it don't look like what it looked like on my yard. You know, you're putting responsibility on other people and all that stuff. So just think about that when you get these dogs, man. If you get 10 dogs and you can barely handle 10 dogs, just think it. When you want to go out of town, when you want to go on a vacation, ain't no vacation because you got to have somebody try to take care of all them dogs, and you're gonna be thinking about that the whole time. You know, so get what you can handle.
And
Same thing
now,
everybody else says.
let me say this also. What Brother Eli just said, dude. You can have all the partners you want, and I got some famous. And I think Richard, I think you might know who one of them is. I got some famous partners out there. But at the end of the day, you know, when you leave a dog somewhere, or if you or if you farm a dog out, or if you tell a partner, man, well, keep this, like it back, dude, that's the worst thing. You know, the worst thing in this game is if you in a spot, you tell somebody to hold a dog for you. I think that's one of the worst things you can do. Can you watch this? Man, look, I'm a little bit overloaded. I'm gonna send you this puppy right here. Can you hold on to it for me? Dude, that's the worst thing. Because it always comes up in disaster. It
That's
always
true.
comes up in disaster. I mean, you know, partnership with dogs. Okay, you can have a guy that's your partner with these dogs, but keep your stuff in your own yard. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Perfect.
indeed.
Then.
You guys been doing this and putting dogs on somebody else's yard, or having somebody putting dogs on your yard, dude, that is not good. Because it only breaks up friendships. And I'm telling you, because I've done it. I do. I mean, I've done it with. I can name kennels that all you guys will know. All you guys will know. And you know, dude, I even throw them out there because I don't even count them a Federation kennel.
Don't name them, man. Don't name them. Don't
No,
name
but I'm
them.
just saying, dude. Dude, I developed some of the best kennels in this world. I mean, on the southeast, and dude, I don't get no feedback. Dude, I went to one of my yards, and dude, all my dogs were burned up. I said, dude, what the heck? I said, what's all these blankets out here? Where my dogs at? You feel me?
Right.
All my dogs were dead. Then the best dogs that he had on his yard, that was his old school stuff, was one was ROM, or two was ROM. He gave me both of them. I'm like, what about all my stuff? And I'd already paid for half of this yard anyway. You feel me? Partnerships ain't no good. Don't put You can be a partner with somebody, but don't put your dogs on nobody else's yard. I'm telling you what I know, because I was so stupid, dude. This was the third time I'd done it. And I lost every dog every time. And at one time, and I thought, dude, I ain't gonna throw them out there. Okay, the
There ain't
mood.
no more. Ain't no room
Okay,
under the bus.
all right, all right. The Moody's, the Moody's had taken my dog out there. They had taken my which I got a good dog out of it. They're taking my peanut dog to Detroit to breed to their dog. I said, well, you know what? I don't really like that breeding, so I'll take two, and y'all keep the rest. I said, I'll take one, y'all keep the rest. They bred her to a different dog. So when they did that and brought me my pup back, I said, no, nigga, I didn't agree with that. No, 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 no. I want that gun of blood that you bred her to, because you just lied to me. He said he wasn't getting to me. He told me he won't give me nothing. I said, well, I tell you what, come back here tomorrow. Came back here tomorrow, nigga. I was on his yard and I was taking all his stuff. I took his Bobby Tex dog. I won against. I won. Because I ain't gonna throw him out. Well, he dead too. But I won. be heavy equipment. We went and we took that yard and we won with it.
Right.
And we gave him his dog back when we were through. Man, you can have him back. Dude, I mean, we want no thieves, nothing, but you weren't gonna take nothing. You weren't gonna take nothing from us.
Right.
Without us showing you, nigga, we know you got it. We're gonna take this from you. And we went to his house. We went to his house after we took it and told him what we took. We won with him, we bred him, and we gave him back. That was Bobby Tex. It was you can look it up on Pairs Online. It was and we bred him to a dog that we had. That was the mama and the dad were both off Jeep. And the dog's name was his name was Bobby Tex. Oh, Benz, Bobby Tex. And we bred him to Iman, which was off it was a double bred. Mom and dad was both off a Jeep. But dude, we just didn't play the whole just gonna do us over and stuff like that. You know, you're gonna take my dog to Detroit and I let you breed her. And you're gonna change the breeding because I said, man, well, you can breed it, just give me a pup. You're gonna change the breeding and just gonna bring me what you want to bring me. No, dude, we didn't play it like it, nigga. I'm taking your whole yard till I get my stuff back. No, we didn't play it like that, brother. And we were the good guys. Dude, we was the good guys because if we wasn't the good guys, you would never even played us like that.
Right.
Because the other niggas would just tied you up. Because they was like, dude, you want us to tie him up? I was like, nah, let me handle it. You feel me?
The tie-up always worked too, though. You know?
No. Because they were like, dude, you want us to tie us up, man? Bring him out. I was like, no, that kidnapping charge is a beast. The kidnapping charge is a beast. Let me just go take Bobby Tex and tell him I got him. But then he was so shaky that when I got Bobby Tex, he didn't come and say no. Well, he called his brother George up in Detroit. The Moody's up in Detroit, and man, can we get a dog back, man? Can we get a dog back? I was like, no, shut up, stupid. You feel me? I mean, we want no trust, we want no bullies, but you can't take nothing from us. You feel me?
Right.
Man, who are you talking to? Man, you nuts. I said, what? I told George, I said, man, tell Don come get his dog, man. He said, no, he ain't gonna do that. I said, man, just tell him come get his dog. I'm gonna put it on the porch. We're gonna leave. And we put the dog on the porch. He wouldn't come get it because he thought he was gonna knock him off. But dude, we ain't like that. It wasn't like it was. I mean, we was like that, but you know, looking back, we wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. Leave it alone. But you know, it's a lot of guys, man, in this game that play the game that's softer than a mug, but they play it hard. But like now, you got the Facebook guy, and you would think them something is like Hulk Hogan, dude. I'm 130. I boxed for 12 years. I'm coming hard, whatever, strapped down, whatever. But I'm coming with God and hoping that I ain't got to deal with none of that. You feel me? I don't want no problem. You feel me?
Right.
I don't want no problem. I don't want no problem from nobody. I'm a good guy, and I know I'm good. I don't want no problem. But
Them
back
Facebook gangsters will bring it out you, though. For real. They the worst. Well, I don't know. The YouTube gangsters is the worst. Then the Facebook is strong second.
no. That ain't even it. Because they ain't going to bust a grape chewing on it. They ain't gonna, you don't even see them.
Ain't gonna
like
throw a punch in the fist fight.
You don't even see them. They don't even be at the show. You never even gonna see them.
Right. Well, you know, them guys like that, you know, I tell people all the time, I ain't got the energy for the nonsense, so I'm not fighting nobody. I'm a grown man. If I got a problem with somebody, I'm gonna go see him. I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna go see him. I ain't got time for the back and forth playing. I ain't got time for none of that shit because all that shit do is lead to somebody testifying on the other person. You know what I mean? So
No, I want to agree with that because I mean, dude, we see you face to face, and when Grand Devastation see you, dude, I'm the littlest guy there. I'm telling you, when Grand Devastation come see you, the problem was resolved right there.
well, that's what I'm saying. You like I said, you come see him. You ain't got time to be going back and forth playing with nobody on the internet.
Yeah, but the people on the internet, you never will see them. It will never happen. So you go through with some little things like what's the thing with the Young John Pack? BKK.
What's that?
I don't even want to give them the time, but I mean,
No,
people,
you got name drop nobody.
right? But I mean, people who go into this and run their mouth and dude, I mean, you know, we've been around it. I don't know how old you are. I mean, but I've been around this game 40 years. And I know good people, and I know good people I can get dogs from. It's not a guessing game for me anymore. You know,
Right. Absolutely. Let me read these super chats real quick. Salute to Matthew Leak in the Cash App. Much love and much appreciation, Matthew. Salute to the brother Orhan. Always coming through showing love. Came through heavy in the Cash App. He says, all dog, man. There is no room under the bus. Salute. Salute, family. Appreciate it, Orhan. Brother Ram, you take that question, man.
I say best bet. I totally agree, and I always preach: don't fucking feed more than you could afford. But if you could afford 4, get 2 males, 2 females. You know, raise them up to adulthood and make sure you they live up to the standards of your program. And the ones that do, you breed them. Start your shit from there, bro. But if you only just want 1 or 2, I would go that route if you're trying to breed them. But you only got a fucking low percent chance of 2 of them making it. That's why I say start out with 4. One of them might just be the last man or last gyp standing. Breed that motherfucker to either a badass bitch or a good breeding or a good producing male, and you go from there. But if you start off, you got the space, the time, and the money to raise up 2 males, 2 females. Somebody gonna, come out of that for you. If you start, with good quality bred dogs, not necessarily because you can't tell if a pup gonna be quality or not. That nigga just eat shit and sit. You feel me? But just good quality bred dogs off good producing stock. Go from there, bro. That's what I would do, and that's how I've done it before.
Yes, sir. Well, I want to thank y'all for joining us on another successful week. I'm tired as hell. I'm over here sleepy from the doze off. I'm like, damn, I'm trying to keep myself awake. I'm sleepy as fuck. But salute to everybody for joining us, man. Ram, why don't you give us a disclaimer?
Hey, man, as always, none of this shit is intended for, nor should it be used for any illegal purposes or activities. But, I'm going to keep it trail with you. I'm the big homie like that. If you is out there on that bullshit, keep it to yourself, man. You ain't got to tell everybody, especially if you like just telling on yourself. But by you doing that, you're telling on the next man too. So it's all right to keep shit to yourself. It's the weekend, so you already know. Uber it up, man. No need to be drinking and driving, fucking hit somebody or get hit by a drunk. There's just too much dumb shit come with it, so just don't do it, man. Get a Desi, whatever. And always, for real, I always end it, pull out, homie. Trust me, it's cheaper.
Salute to everybody.
Yes, sir. I want to thank Lil Rock from Grand Devastation for coming through, blessing us with his appearance. And also, of course, Eli and my brother Walking Down Ram and Mr. Schoolboy, Richard Garcia. Y'all know how to get in contact with him on Facebook Messenger. The link to his Facebook is in the description underneath the video. Thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see y'all next week, man. Peace.
Peace.